in just a few. So we're coming back to that in a minute, but we're going to get our guest in. Who's in the studio with me today?
It's Black, y'all.
Fly Dave, Buzz.
Hey, thank you, Dave. All right, so our panelists are in, the crew is here, and we also have special guests in the lobby and then those that are in the virtual studio. So let me say again, Mitch, you can just hang tight where you are and you'll come back after the first half so you can relax. Nobody sees you yet. I see you, but nobody else sees you, so you're good. And coming in the studio, we have Sherry Lawrence from the Sickle Cell Foundation of Central Alabama in the building because September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month, amongst other things that we're celebrating in September. What else is in September? Let's see. September is Americana Month. What does that mean? Americana Month. I don't know. I sound probably flags.
All things American.
Yeah, right? Americana.
Yeah.
Disease Literacy Month, so that you can know about diseases, be literate, know what's going on. Whole Grains Month.
All things natural.
Okay.
Whole grain.
Okay. Pulmonary Fibrosis Awareness Month. Blood, veins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that heart too?
Yeah, okay.
Heart.
Yeah.
Pulmonary.
Mortgage Professional Month. Fall Hat Month. So I'm looking forward to that. Scully's.
Buckets.
We got buckets on deck. I like caps. Fedoras. Got fedoras.
I love fedoras.
Got your beanies.
As long as they don't have that red bottom on.
Bicky hat.
Because that ain't real. We don't like them. Let me put some sound.
Death
on
to the
that.
red bottom
We don't like
fedoras,
that.
bro.
It's also Italian Cheese Month.
I love cheese.
You and Chuck both. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a laxative with that. Cheese stop you up.
But up,
Oh, okay. Hispanic Heritage Month, also Honey Month, and Self-Care Awareness Month. That one is really big.
Yeah.
All month long during the day, I am giving you self-care tips so that you can better care for yourself. Hello, Dr. Brandy. Hello, Sophia. Hey, everybody. And to the rest of you who are watching and tuned in, share the live, share the stream. Let them know that we're here on B94.9 WATV. So as I said, Sherry Lawrence is in. She's a community health worker and counselor educator from the Sickle Cell Foundation of Central Alabama, right here in the area. Welcome in, Miss Sherry. Oh, she getting plugged up. Welcome in.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
We can.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
We're awesome. So you are here on behalf of the Sickle Cell Foundation of Central Alabama.
Yes, ma'am.
The biggest, right?
Yes.
The biggest chapter in the state.
Yes, we are.
All right. So tell us a little bit about what you do at the foundation.
Well, my role is I'm the community health worker for the Sickle Cell Foundation. And what I do is just to help coordinate, plan, and just get events done. And right now, one of my biggest roles is the quarterly blood drives that we have.
Okay. So tell us about sickle cell. What is sickle cell disease?
Well, sickle cell disease is a disease that affects the red blood cells and the hemoglobin.
Right.
Normally, red blood cells are circle shaped, like a donut, soft, kind of squishy. And sickle cells are cells that are kind of hard.
Yeah. They get sickled.
Yeah, they get sickled. They get sticky. And they don't pass through like normal red blood cells.
Okay. We're trying to get your mic situated.
Okay, yeah.
Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
So when they don't pass through, they get stuck in the veins, and that's when the pain crisis.
That's when the pain crisis occur, and
lack of oxygen because the vessels are blocked.
Absolutely.
Look, I know a lot about this because of my involvement with the foundation and with the disease. But I'm gonna let you do your job. Communicate, educate the community. So those are just a couple of things. Who's affected by sickle cell disease?
Well, currently it's about 100,000 people in the U.S. who have sickle cell disease. And of course, the majority of those people are African American, people of African descent. Although that's not the only people that can be affected, which is a big misconception.
Right. Like we just talked about it being Hispanic Heritage Month.
Hispanic is the second largest community. White people or Caucasians can be affected by sickle cell disease. And a lot of people don't know that.
Right. So when you know better, you are more prone to give and support.
Absolutely.
So thinking about September being Sickle Cell Awareness Month, what are some things that you all are doing this month to get people more educated?
Well, this month we are doing that. Just that we are educating. We're having events. Right now, the biggest month is going to be next month.
Okay.
We're trying to incorporate our events along with the Magic City Classic because, of course,
It's
we
already
know,
big.
yeah, this is the most important thing in our community is the Magic City Classic. So we want to center some events around that month. So,
Right.
yeah, we're definitely going to have a big month next month.
So you mentioned the blood drive. That'll
Yes,
be in
ma'am.
October.
October 20th.
What is the? Tell me about the part that blood play. Like, why do you need this blood?
Well, there currently we have an estimate of 107 patients at Children's Hospital who are on chronic blood transfusions.
Mm.
Yes, so they're having to have blood at least once a month.
Why? Like, what does it do? You know, if I give my blood to
Mhm.
someone that lives with sickle cell disease, what does that do for them?
Well, your healthy blood cells can replace the affected blood cells. Yes, ma'am. It helps to
Okay.
kind of renew those blood cells for them, but
Gotcha.
just temporarily because they're having to have it once a month.
Yeah. So that means a lot of blood is
A
needed.
lot of blood is needed.
Wow. Did y'all know that?
I did not.
I did not.
I do
See,
have
and
a
this is
question.
right here in our community.
Right
These
here
are
in our
these are my people.
community.
Yeah.
So, as far as donating blood, are there certain people that should not donate?
Well, of course, I think if now normally the Red Cross will give you details on who should and shouldn't, but I know that if you recently had a tattoo, that's probably gonna be a no-no.
Mhm.
I'm not sure on the time frame of how long to wait, but like if
Right.
you just had a tattoo and you come in, don't do that.
Right.
If you've had alcohol, probably within a certain time frame, you
Mhm.
shouldn't. Pregnant women should not donate.
Oh.
Yeah, pregnant women can't donate, but everybody else is welcome to donate. And of course,
Especially
we-
Club O.
Of course, Club O.
Club O in the building.
Club O.
I need to know. I don't know my blood type.
I only know mine because I just had a baby, so I remember what they
Mhm.
told me.
And then
a
doctor's
year ago.
offices just don't. They
They
don't
don't just offer
do
that
it anymore.
information.
No.
And
Know how you
I
can
always
find out?
forget.
How can I find it? Please tell
Donate.
me. What up, Bum? She'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. Tip your waitresses.
Come and donate. That's how you'll find
You'll
out.
find out your blood type, and you'll also find out if you have sickle cell trait. If you don't know that, a lot of people don't know their status.
Now, that is something I want us to talk about. I have sickle cell trait, and my mother had sickle cell trait, and my daughter had sickle cell trait, and my uncle had sickle cell trait, and my grandfather had sickle cell
Does
trait.
anyone have disease in your family, or just trait?
Everybody that I am aware of has the trait, only the trait. Now, the idea that that some of us wouldn't have known, or somebody else may not know, and we don't know to ask that question, what could have happened?
What
If we all have the trait and we decide to DMR, date, mate, or relate with someone else that has the trait, what could have happened?
Well, if you make y'all remember the pundit squares from middle school.
Yeah, I do.
Was that in math class?
It was in math and
Oh, I
science.
definitely
I
don't
remember-
remember.
I
that.
remember the pun.
Yeah. So it just basically kind of gives you a breakdown.
Telling my age.
As to if the partners and how they may, if you have trait,
Right.
if your partner has trait, what are the likelihood
Right.
of your children having disease, trait, or not being affected at all?
And T-Boss has sickle cell.
Disease.
She has sickle cell. I think she has sickle beta thalassemia, which is
She be
not
sick.
as severe.
Yeah, she's
I think she was having
Yes.
some issues.
Jordan Sparks, another celebrity that has sickle
I
cell
didn't know
disease.
that.
Mhm.
I had no idea.
When we did I can't think of what the campaign. It was one of the campaigns before the pandemic that Jordan was like an advocate. She was one of the
Wow.
spokespeople for
I
it.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so like you can't look at people until they
Cannot.
have sickle cell disease or sickle cell trait, but
Absolutely.
there are some things that you can look out for, right?
Yes, there are some things that you can look out for. In sickle cell disease, there may be some features
Yeah,
that you can see,
Yeah.
not in everybody, but in some people, there may be some features. A lot of children might be of smaller
Mhm.
stature.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are some features that you can look out for.
Lorenz Tate has sickle cell.
With his
Really?
fine self.
You look good.
Woo.
Really? Okay, he supposed to picture the day. I was like, okay. Then we said, T-Boss has it. Tiki Barber, he's a performer.
Yep.
Yeah, he has it. Prodigy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we knew he had it.
Paul Williams from the Temptations, Miles Davis.
Now, I didn't remember Paul had
All
sickle
had
cell.
sickle cell
Antonio
disease.
Holmes.
Right
Yes.
here.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's a few celebrities that do have it.
Thank you, the researcher. So, like, it
Yeah,
brings
got
it
it.
home. You know, it brings it home when you know of people in your neighborhood. You know, you think about your classmates and people that may have been out sick, or, you know, like I. This is really crazy. But people be like, "What's wrong with your eyes?" What? So, like jaundice, or what people
Yeah.
refer to as liver spots. You know, a little ignorance going on, but those would be things with sickle cell. Children that may have strokes early.
Yeah,
Really?
they are
Mhm.
prone to strokes. Yes, ma'am.
Hip replacement,
Yes.
knee replacement, joint issues. What else? Those are some of the main features, but then it's the pain crisis.
The pain crisis.
That's the
fatigue
main
from
thing.
just being severely anemic in some cases.
And anemia.
Yes.
Sharon, continue to educate us. We need it. We do need it. Are children being made aware of what sickle cell is? Like, how are we getting children involved in the conversation about sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait?
I don't know if children are being made aware. I would love to. I mean, if there are any schools that are listening that would, like for somebody to come in and educate, I would love to be a part of that. But I don't think a lot of kids are being, educated on sickle cell disease.
So we need to maybe make that stride, because children
Yeah.
do. Thank you so much, Chuck. Children do make those connections for parents and family members, like,
Absolutely.
because it's not something that's often talked about. Sickle cell trait, sickle cell disease. Who knows? How do you find out? So if somebody around right now is wondering, just curious as to if they have sickle cell trait or disease, can they be tested now, just like after the
Mhm.
fact?
Yes. You can
Okay,
be
so you don't have
tested.
to be a baby
You
to be
don't have
tested.
to be a baby. You can be tested. A lot of athletes, normally around school, when school first starts, we get an influx of calls from athletes who need to be tested because the NCAA has mandated that they be tested for sickle cell trait.
Since when? Ain't nobody said nothing to
Yes,
me. My baby
ma'am.
plays sports this year.
Really? How old?
She's 14.
But she was tested in the hospital.
Um,
You don't remember your letter?
I don't.
You got a letter.
I don't remember none of that. Was it my little baby? I don't remember them testing for him either. He's 14
I'm sure they
months
did.
old.
You need
Since
to go look through your
1988,
folder.
we have had
And I
to be
still have
tested.
my folder. I
So,
go
yeah.
look.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So since 88.
Mhm.
So that's over 30 years ago,
Yes.
where people wouldn't know if they had sickle cell trait or disease.
Right.
And then after you find out, are there any recommendations or things that you should do to care for yourself, or what?
Well, once you find out your baby has sickle cell trait, you come into counseling to us at the Sickle Cell Foundation, and we have a counselor, Miss Claudette, who will counsel you on, just what to expect to kind of ease your fears, because a lot of people believe that if their baby has trait, they're going to develop disease. That does not happen.
No, that
doesn't
doesn't
happen.
So trait is just trait.
It's
That's what
just
it is.
Trait.
You're a carrier. But now
You're a
I do
carrier.
want to speak to just trait, because there are a lot of things that my doctor has really made clear. So there are certain things that people with the trait will experience, and that a lot of people will discredit.
Yes.
People have died with sickle cell trait,
Yes.
high altitudes, low
High
longitudes.
You need to stay hydrated, just like people who
Absolutely.
have sickle cell disease.
So
Stay
you drink
hydrated.
water like that.
I don't know why I do that.
She
Friend,
had-
little friend, you friend. We were on the phone, and I hear, like, girl, why are you drinking that water like that?
I have to hydrate myself.
She has to hydrate herself
Girl,
as well.
and she does. She stays hydrated. She's
Yeah.
never thirsty. I be so mad at her.
Black.
Girl, drinking like that.
Thirsty, okay? So yeah, like the joint pain, the fatigue, the anemia, those different things. Even like I ran track, and people will say that you're just saying something when you're an athlete, and you say, "Look, I need to stop. I need to get water." And the same thing with my daughter, like let her stop.
Right.
If she
And I think
says let her stop.
That's the importance, or that's probably why the NCAA
Yeah.
implemented that, so that these children who are complaining about pain and I'm
Right.
tired and I'm thirsty, because I think some athletes have passed
They
from having
have.
sickle cell trait and
Yeah.
being doing too much or going too hard while playing sports.
And that's why I ask, how are children being made aware? Their parents should know, but no
Yes.
slack to the parents. But like after you have a baby, you're in parent mode. I just
Yes.
read and look through everything that I'm given, so I'm flipping
Right.
through, and I would do that. But some parents don't have an opportunity to look through and see. And then I guess people aren't saying that once your baby is diagnosed, they're not coming in the room to tell you about it.
Right, they're not.
They just
Like
put it
I
in your
said,
folder.
we have a database, and Miss Claudette gets the information, and she counsels them. It's up to them to follow up or to find out any other information once they come in and get counseled.
If you or someone you know is interested in learning more about sickle cell and the trait, the disease, the different variants of the disease, how can they reach out?
Well, they can. We have information on our Facebook, our Instagram, but our national website is sicklecelldisease.org, and that's the nationals. You can find any information that you need there. The CDC website, of course, they give some information about sickle cell disease as well.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to be aware of what plagues our community, like what issues, what diseases it is. Disease literacy month. So knowing, reading, finding out about, the people around you, asking questions. Chuck, do you know your sickle cell status?
I ain't got it. I don't know what that means. No, we
the
don't.
Trait?
It's not in this part of my family.
Okay. So you do know that part. You know
yeah,
that
because
much.
like when I was younger, there was a lady who my mom was trying to help out. Odd story. I forgot about this. She stole my mom's wedding ring, but it's a whole different thing. But she has sickle cell. So she was like, what? What's cracking?
What?
Yeah, so my mom was trying to help her out because what? My mom was trying to help her out, so she was like helping like clean the house and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Back in when I lived in Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
She had sickle cell, so like my mom got all of us tested, blah blah blah. It's not on my side of the family, but she also stole my mom's wedding ring, so it's a whole thing.
That's like a lot of stories wrapped in one. People with sickle cell do not steal rings. That's not what's being said.
No. That's what I'm just saying. That just happened. Okay.
That's just a part of the story.
But no, I know my trait. I do know that. Like it is in a piece of my family on my dad's side.
Okay.
It's not on my mom's side. Yeah.
Gotcha. See?
Get tested though.
And Dave, you don't know, or do you know, or what? Because 88, how old were you? I'm just playing. You don't have to.
In 88, I was 14, 15.
Okay.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
Yes, he
I'm
would've
old,
been.
man.
Look at Black.
How you think I am?
That's not old.
At her age.
Man,
That's our age.
bro,
It's not. Not if he was 14 in 88. We was born in 84.
I'm 48.
See, that ain't old.
You somebody dad.
Boy, I'm somebody listen.
Yeah, great granddaddy.
I'm somebody granddad. I have my first grandson, man. My
What does this
son
have to
and
do
my
with sickle cell
daughter.
disease
I'm
and
sorry.
trait? I asked Dave, did he know?
I was going to tell you.
You know, we got ADHD. You know that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't know, but I don't know of anyone in my family that has
Okay.
ever had it. So I don't know if I have it or not.
Hmm.
No one in my immediate family has had it that I know of.
Were you at the day job when old girl?
In the mic. Swing it.
Were you at the day job when old girl had sickle cell that pulled up probably about 2 weeks ago? She had like a lot of spots and all that, and she was talking about like she had blisters and all that kind of stuff. She was talking about like she had sickle cell, and we was like, what that got to do with you paying us money?
Oh,
I'm confused
because see, that's a part of it. Like people, it's a disease that you have diseases that people can't see, and we'll also talk about that in the second half of the show. We get on another big situation. But as for sickle cell, it's one of those things that if you aren't told, or if somebody tells you, you have no way to know how it affects them. Right? We just talked about that the other night. Black and I were talking about like depression. What does that look like? Or ADHD, what does that look like? So sickle cell disease, what does that look like?
It doesn't have a face. It can affect people differently in different ways.
Boom. So know your status. That is important to know, because some of the issues that you may have may be connected to something that you
Right.
are unaware of. If you weren't tested before 88. Born in 72, you
Y'all talk
may
about
not know.
Y'all talk about the racial thing about this. Like, are there white people that have sickle cell?
Yes.
That y'all did that? My
You
bad.
gotta start listening.
You're tardy for the
You
party.
gotta start
bro.
listening when
Hey,
you
man,
drive.
I'm on time. Listen, I had to go get coffee and all.
He
this
got
other
our
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah,
And
we
I
ain't
was
nobody
like,
gonna
oh
pay
God,
me
I
today.
hate you. Oh my
Okay,
God.
not today.
We
Okay.
appreciate it.
So, but it's a small minority. It's a small percentage of white people, right?
Yeah, I did a little bit of research on that. It's about 2% of white
2?
births. Yeah.
It's just like I never known a black person to have shingles. I think.
Really?
No, not shingles. It's something else.
Something like that. Shingrens.
No,
Shenanigans.
I know a lot of
We
black
got a
people
lot
that
of
got a lot of
We got
shenanigans.
shenanigans.
I'm into some right now.
Shigrins.
No,
If
there's
you know what
something
we're
else.
talking
It's a
about, write
racial
it.
thing.
Send it to us. But like how some ethnic groups have certain things that others don't.
White people don't have TB, right? Is that another one?
Everybody gets TB tested.
Right, but
We're not medical professionals here.
I know, but we just educating the people.
Just Google
The researcher.
because we don't know.
The
And
researcher.
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, we
There's
don't
something
know.
that white people typically suffer from that black people don't, and then there's things like sickle cell that black people typically suffer from, or the percentages are higher.
Right. And like Mediterranean people, we didn't talk about that part.
Mediterranean, Italian, yes.
So people of
African
color,
descent.
right? African descent. And so that's a history lesson all in itself, that people that are considered Mediterranean are people of African descent.
Yes.
That's big. All right. So yeah, get your research on. Find out about yourself. There are small things about you that you don't know that would make you be different. So find out what your differences are by going down to the Sickle Cell Foundation. How can they get there? Address, phone number, what information?
Absolutely. Well, our phone number is 205-780-2355. My extension is 13, but you can just dial the general number and you can get us. Our address is 3813 Avenue I. We are right off the Avenue I exit in Ensley.
Yeah, right here in the area.
Yes.
So look, y'all, be a part of something bigger than yourselves. Sophia, which is the executive director, is on the live, and she said that cystic fibrosis is one that Caucasians are mostly affected by. That's one.
That's one.
There are others. The researchers really, and she's really working right now. You know what, Miss Sherry? Thank you so much for coming in. This is the community
Y'all
health
was talking
worker.
to me.
No,
Nah,
you know
you
you're
researching.
Doing
You
you're
good?
doing your work.
Keep on researching.
Thank you so much for spending some of your Sunday evening with us and educating about the Sickle Cell Foundation. People reach out, find out, ask
wanna say something
questions.
Yes.
Go
Can I
ahead.
please invite everybody to come out to our next blood drive?
I was about to say, you got that T-shirt on. Like black people don't
Yes.
get blood. Y'all get. Hey, it's a
Yes,
shortage,
please
right?
give blood October 20th, 1 to 5 p.m.
It's a
at the
Thursday.
Sickle Cell Foundation. Yes, it's on a Thursday because the American Red Cross, they have to have staff available. So
But there's a shortage, right?
yes, there is a blood shortage,
it's
and
a-
especially for us there.
Yeah, it's like a I don't want to say pandemic, but it's a problem right now.
Yeah, it's an issue. We definitely need blood.
Give
But
blood.
y'all, we are giving out a free Magic City Classic ticket for your blood donation. You can't beat that.
Not
Y'all
a
know-
T-shirt.
Man, and a T-shirt.
Oh, and
Nah,
a shirt.
man, hey,
Oh.
Yes, we
I
get
promise you, you
t-shirts.
get more people if you got a parking pass.
Oh, for
True
real.
story. Everybody
I
got
would talk
tickets.
to my Red Cross Connect.
Hey, but hey, real talk. Everybody that's out there listening, y'all give blood. A lot of people don't want to give blood because they think they out here screening for some things. They're not screening for a particular thing that impacts some of y'all.
Yeah.
You know, that killer, the mid, whatever.
Definitely
Give
not
blood.
me. But yes.
Give blood, yo.
Donate. One time for Ray Walker. I'm scouting Ray. It's possibly a part of the crew. Ray says, "LOL, we are stingy with that blood."
Because they think they testing cats. Like, they ain't nobody gonna report you to nobody. Like, give blood, save a life.
I have heard a lot of reasons as to why we don't give blood.
That's the number one
And
reason, though.
Scared of needles.
No, that's fine.
A lot
I
of
don't
people
like
just
needles.
don't trust what's happening with the blood, but I was assured that our blood does go here locally, and especially if it's a match with the
Yeah.
person who has
Yeah.
sickle cell. If
Hey.
you have those specific antigens, you will definitely be matched with the person who has sickle cell, and they will contact you regularly. They will have extra incentives for you if you are that particular match.
Again, save lives. They not testing. Ain't nobody about to
Right.
report you to no
It's no
authorities.
conspiracies.
Well,
They
it
not-
might be, but I don't know about that. Anyway,
But it's blood
They
in a
not
bag.
cloning
So
you.
like, where would you after it's
No.
out of you? What do you
No.
what?
They worried about these crazy nights they've been having. And you go in there thinking you just need an oil
Oh,
change.
so
and
then
come
you
back
get
out and be like, you
another
get your
call.
tires rotated, your light low.
I see.
Yeah, all these to-dos coming out here.
I see.
To-dos, STDs.
they're not
I
testing
got
for
you.
that killer. They're not testing for
I
that
got
booger
you.
sugar. They just want the blood. It's fine.
Just the blood. Once again, where is it? What time?
It is going to be at the Sickle Cell Foundation again, 3813 Avenue I, right in Ensley, 1 to 5, October 20th.
October 20th. We'll
Yes.
keep you guys reminded. Thank you so much. Coming back, we have Recovery Month conversation about to pop off. That's a big conversation. I know y'all see that a lot in the day job with Landmark Recovery. Sit tight. You're listening to Vital on V94.9 WATV on Sunday nights. The V stands for Vital.
I thought that was a cold because I had a cold.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I was so nervous.
It was today. Bro, I done.
Thank God for
My wife is on
having
this
me.
part-time job rent. She done went from one to another. So I just been today. I went
We are back, and yeah, we have special guests for our second half as well. I'm gonna add him to the screen. Hey there,
Hello.
how are you?
Doing great. Thanks so much for having me on tonight.
Absolutely, welcome to the show, y'all. So we got our landmark recovery representative in studio, Mr. Mitch Klein. How are you?
Doing well.
Yeah, so this is a big week, a big month. Um, recovery month, overdose awareness week. We just missed it; it just passed us. But hey, we're here today, and we definitely want to talk about overdose and recovery. It's such a big thing right now. We're hearing a lot about opioid addictions and just we're hearing tons of that. People and pills and relapse and just everything. And this is also a conversation that I'm familiar with on a daily basis, and our crew is too. They see this a lot in their day jobs.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, September is Recovery Month, and it kind of kicked off the last day of August with Overdose Awareness Day. It's just a sad fact. Last year, 107,000 people in this country died from an overdose. So,
Wow.
Landmark Recovery is one of several of the nation's recovery providers. We
Mhm.
treat drug and alcohol addictions, and it's really about saving lives. I mean, that's
Yeah.
our mission. It's to save lives. It's to give people a new lease on life, to show them that there is hope, that they can escape the trap of addiction.
So thank you for your work. And on a daily basis, we appreciate your work. What are you seeing as far as why people become addicted? Like how what is addiction? How does it happen?
Yeah, it happens several ways. As kind of the old tales go, it often happens because someone tries it for the first time, right? They try a drug, they try drinking. You can get hooked on it, and this often is because you're dealing with trauma. You're using drugs or alcohol as something to cope with, and so you may have something that makes you sad, that makes you anxious, and you start to say, well, I feel a little bit better if I take this substance. Before you know it, that substance has taken control over you. We talk about addiction, but more clinically, it's substance use disorder.
Yeah.
And that basically means that you have clinically, your brain has become wired to absolutely crave intensely whatever substance it is that you have decided to take in. This can really affect your behavior, your life. You know that there's a problem when
Mhm.
when you cannot function without using a substance, and
Mm.
it ends up just taking over your life. It'll impact your job, it'll impact your relationships. So that's what addiction looks like.
Wow. That so for some people, they can't recognize when that has happened. Like at this point, I am out of control. Every time I turn around, I need this, I need this, I need more of that. And it becomes life altering. It's a thing. It's a major thing that affects every aspect of their lives. How do you treat substance use disorder? How can
Yeah,
people be helped?
sure. Well, one of the things that we have to mention is that a person has to be willing to go into treatment. So a lot of times the timing has to be right. You have to be able to say to yourself and admit that you have a problem. There is such a thing. The court system may force people into treatment,
Uh-huh.
but really,
Mhm.
it's not going to work. It's not going to be helpful unless the person willingly goes in and wants to get better. In terms of what it is it's a combination of therapy, of counseling.
Mhm.
In some cases, you need to go through what's called medical detox, but will help you really get past the withdrawal symptoms that come with, say, alcohol addiction, opioid addiction. Sometimes people on cocaine. There will be some intense pain and just really hard times when you're trying to wean off of that substance. So you may need to go through detox first, but ultimately the best course is to go into a residential program where you can focus on your recovery. You are isolated away from, the outside environment. You've got people in there that really care about getting you better. You will learn techniques. You will learn skills. You will look introspectively at, your own traumas and how you
Mhm.
cope with things. And really what happens is you come out rediscovering yourself. You found that you are a good person, that you do have the strength to carry on. So to us, treatment is just it's life changing on a positive way.
I appreciate that.
That's nice.
Y'all
That's
said
dope.
you said something about the courts. At our day job, me and Dave, like we don't force anybody into treatment. It's like because we understand, like if you do not want help, it ain't gonna stick. Like you're gonna go through the motions, but as soon as you get done, you're gonna go right back into the same environment that you were in and like continue the same pattern of behavior. So like we don't do that. That was just a little point of clarification. So
And
at
then,
my day job.
and then people have to also realize that addiction is a disease.
Yeah.
It's a disease.
It's not a flaw. Hey, quick story. So one of my homeboys got an issue.
Mhm.
Y'all know him. I ain't gonna call his name,
Thanks.
but he's always like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's a flaw, whatever. I'm like, man, your alcoholism is not a flaw, it's a disease.
It's
like
a
you got
disease.
to understand that. Like,
Yeah.
So it used to frustrate me because some of my friends would be like, oh, well, he just had a beer and so he good. No, it is no liquor. Like once you have a beer, you down a rabbit hole at that point in time.
no social, no cues, no internal cues on when to stop.
No.
Because you're addicted, because this is something that may be a chemical imbalance. It may be
Right.
what you use for negative coping mechanism or whatever. So having that support system, having people to say it. Do you say that? Have you ever said that
Yes.
to the friend directly?
Oh,
Yes,
listen,
he has.
I've said
Okay.
it a couple. I'm like, hey man, you want to go have coffee? We can go have coffee. I'm not going to a place that serves any sort of alcohol with you. Like, you want to go sit at a restaurant? I'm cool. You want, like I said, we can go to a place. I ain't got a drink, but the problem is that point. It's almost like, well, you doing this like because I can't have anything, and so like the pressure is even more sometimes
yeah.
when it happens. Like, oh well, I'm not trying to prevent you from having a good time. I'm like, hey man, if we here to rap and chat and build or whatever, we ain't got to do all that. Like we go to the coffee house, we can just drink some water or whatever. But it's tough.
So, what are some signs that someone is addicted to substance or opioids or alcohol?
Yeah, that's a great question. Really, the biggest sign is that you prioritize the use of a substance above everything else. You'd rather use a substance, you'd rather use a drug or drink alcohol than be with your family, than be with your friends. You want to do it over work. So that's kind of the number one thing is if you can't not do it, then that's a pretty good indication that there's a problem. There's some other signs in terms of like just having to always use a substance to the point of being intoxicated. You can't just have one beer or two beers. You got to have 4 or 5. You've got to get drunk. The other thing would be using it during inappropriate times. Maybe you're going to school, you're going to work, and you're like, I'm gonna take this before I go do my job.
Right, get my mind right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And
I know a lot of people will say, well, I don't have a problem, but they have to, for instance, smoke or take a shot before they go anywhere. Like, bruh, why?
Like that's definitely
They
a problem.
cannot function in public without this substance.
I used to work with a guy who used to tell me that he had to take a drink when he wake up in the morning. He had to take a drink before he went to bed at night.
That's alcoholic.
And when it first started, it was beers. And by the time he finished, he was like on like heavy liquor. Like, I got to take 2 shots of this before as soon as my feet hit the floor in the morning, I have to do this. But his dad and his mom were both functioning alcoholics, and his dad died of cirrhosis of the liver. So he grew up he said he took his first drink at like 8. And his folks
learned behavior.
And his folks knew it. It wasn't like he snuck and drank it. Like, they were a drinking family.
Well, there are 2 things you also didn't mention. There's a mental health component for a lot of people. Some people also like inhaling things to because of their mental health, like they're self-medicating. Right. But the other thing is low key, people don't know this. You get in a car accident, you served in the military, whatever, you got back problems, whatever, pain medication is one of those things that
those gateways.
Yes, it's a gateway, man. And it's crazy because I know people that are like that, like in an accident, went to war, whatever.
Absolutely.
And I got addicted to this pain medication. They stopped prescribing this for me. So like now I'm on that heroin. I'm on whatever.
Yeah.
So Mitch, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's happening with the opioid crisis.
Yeah.
What are you seeing?
Yeah, well, the gentleman who just spoke, he kind of nailed it on the head. I mean, that is a lot of times how it starts is people get prescribed pain medication. Sometimes they take that pain medication and they might give it to a friend and say, hey, this might help you out. Try it, give it a shot. And yeah, again, it just becomes a coping mechanism. It becomes something that they say to themselves, I can't get by without this. I've got to have it. The real danger right now, and I'm sure you guys have heard about it, is fentanyl is so
Yes.
prevalent.
Fentanyl.
It's this, it's this powerful opioid. It's a synthetic opioid. I believe it's like 50 times more powerful than heroin and morphine. And so people don't realize you take one pill that has a concentration of fentanyl that could be the size of the tip of a pencil, and that's it, lights out. You're going to overdose and die. So
Wow.
Well, it's so porous too, right? Like you touch the powder form of it, it gets in your bloodstream that way, right?
Well, that's actually, we're not sure that that's true. There's people that say that, but there's not really that much scientific evidence that says it will absorb through the skin. I know there was a story that came out a few months ago about a lady claiming to pick up a dollar bill at a McDonald's that had fentanyl on it, and that was debunked. That did not have fentanyl on that dollar.
Okay.
That's a different type of Mickey D's.
Yeah, and I was going. That was one of the stories I was thinking about. But then also how I want to say I just saw a story where children were given some type of candy that looked like, some type of drug that looked like candy. I can't remember if it was fentanyl or what it was, but there was an alert out for it. And so just kind of thinking about the access that people have to substances and to drugs. Like we're talking about life-altering reasons, life stressors that may put you in a situation like an accident or a chemical imbalance or some genetic coding or something like that. But then there are also those other things where somebody may put something in your drink, may give you something in your food, may expose you to something some other kind of way.
Roofie.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
Bill
like
Cosby.
all of these
Mickey
different
and Roofie.
situations. So, Black, you have any other questions on that side?
Just something a fact about fentanyl. I just saw
The
fentanyl is
researcher.
50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine. It is the major contributor to fatal and non-fatal overdoses in the U.S. There are two different types of fentanyl: pharmaceutical and illicitly manufactured fentanyl. Both of them are prescribed to treat severe pain, ranging from after surgery and for advanced stage cancer.
Oh,
Let me ask this, and I'm the professionals that's on the other end. Is it true or is it not true? I just want to know. Was fentanyl used like on animals, like on horses and like elephants or something, like very big mass animals at one point in time?
I do not know the answer to that. That's a great question. I don't know what it was originally intended for. So
yeah, like where did this come from? Because it seems like all of a sudden, boom, everybody
It
knows
just
about
hit.
it,
You
and
talk
people are
about
dying
GHB
from
and the
it.
horse tranquilizer. So
well, and the
But
biggest
right.
reason that we're seeing so much of it is because these clandestine chemists can make it very cheaply, and so
Yeah, I just read that.
they're selling counterfeit opioid pills. Sometimes they'll make these pills look like OxyContin or codeine, things like that, and it's really got fentanyl in it instead because it's more expensive to go get the real safer stuff. So they just dump fentanyl in there, and again, because they're just producing it, they don't really care who goes out to. You take one of these pills and you can overdose.
Breaking
Wow.
Bad.
Look, overdose. When you think about overdosing, I know most people, when they hear that, they think that it always means death, but that's not true. I know some people that have overdosed several times. What is an overdose, and how is it not always fatal?
Yeah, I do believe. I don't know the statistics at hand, or don't have those at hand, but most overdoses do result in a person living, and a big part of that is if they get treatment as soon as possible. I can tell you with an opioid overdose, what typically happens is that it lowers your respiration, so you start breathing so slowly to where your body just shuts down because you're not getting enough oxygen.
Right.
People need to know there is a medication. It's called Narcan. That is the
Bring it back.
It's generically it's called Naloxone. All you have to do, it comes in a spray. You stick this in someone's nose, boom, you give them a spray. It will instantly take them out of that overdose. It will increase their respiration. They can survive. So you'll see lots of communities that are investing and going and getting Narcan. Some of them have like vending machines where you can go get Narcan, or they might have it behind the CVS counter. So if that's administered relatively rapidly, you can save someone from an opioid overdose.
So
That's
the
awesome.
reason I was talking about it being porous is, again, in our day job, there were a lot of police officers for a period of time that were talking about always having gloves on when they were encountering foreign substances because they thought it was porous. You touch it. That's why a lot of law enforcement agencies are equipping people with Narcan. It's expensive, but it can help. Yeah.
Black, will you look up that fentanyl animal thing for my comfort?
It's bothering you.
Yeah.
So what are the, while I looked that up, what are the options for treatment for people with addiction?
Yeah, well, the good news is there's a variety of options, and I can speak to you about what we do at Landmark Recovery. We take the patient, we look at what kind of substance they're taking, how long they've been taking it, and then we come up with a plan that's individualized to meet them. That could be outpatient services to where they may need to come in for therapy and counseling, but they can still live at home. Then there's also residential options. That's typically the best because it really removes you from any of those triggers. It lets you just focus solely on getting better and getting recovery. And then there's also recovery coaching services to where you can call someone 24 hours a day, ask them for help. You can go to meetings. So there's various levels of treatment that we provide.
Is it appropriate to ask what y'all's success rate is?
Sure. We have a very good success rate. I can tell you. So I'll just give you a little bit about Landmark Recovery. We have 12 treatment facilities right now. We've been open for 6 years, and in that time, we have saved an estimated 13,000 lives. So it's been very successful. Now, I will say a lot of people. This kind of goes to the stigma of addiction. It is true that people do relapse sometimes after going through treatment. I don't want to say that's normal, but that's something that happens, and if you think about if you have maybe diabetes or cancer, I mean, there it's going to happen. You're going to relapse. The key is that you continue, the treatment. You continue the treatment. You get back to where you want to be, and don't just give up.
So are y'all statewide, regional, what?
Yeah. So we actually are a regional company. We are in seven states. We're soon to be in 8 states. We're opening up a clinic in Virginia actually next week.
So how many clinics are in Alabama?
So right now Landmark we don't have an Alabama location. We're hoping to have it in the next 6 months. So yeah, we'll see if we can get it.
Pull up. We can again at my day job.
The
day job.
Have develop a relationship with y'all.
And not only that, as someone that is helping people to get to recovery on a daily basis, one thing is to change your environment. So if I need to send you away to another place,
right,
I know that you'll be safe with Landmark. I have a landmark for you to go to. So I think that's a great thing. But then building that relationship within the city, that is definitely vital. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Our closest location to Birmingham, I believe, would be Knoxville. So I think it's about 3 hours away or so. And
distance.
Yeah, it's a distance, but I think it's worth the travel. Like you said, sometimes getting away is really the best thing. So
absolutely. So contact information and how can people find you all and check out your recovery options and treatments?
Yeah, I'll tell you, we've got lots of resources at landmarkrecovery.com. So if you go to landmarkrecovery.com, you can see all kinds of stuff on how to talk to people about addiction, what kind of treatment options there are. If you do want to talk to somebody and just really understand everything from what this might cost to what would be right for you, call 866-LANDMARK.
Oh, that's easy.
866-LANDMARK. Yep. Thank you so much, Mitch.
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate it. Absolutely. We're going to continue the conversation. So if you want to keep listening, everybody else keep listening. I don't know how personal my people are going to get, but I think that there's always a space for people to share so that it won't, that stigma that comes with disease and it comes with issues. Once we talk about things and make it real, you have more people that can own the issue. Like what you said, own the issue. People talk about, I needed a drink. I need to smoke a cigarette. I need to do this before I eat. Normally this happens when I feel like, let's talk about it. So that's what we're about to do right here on Vital. 994-8949 is the number if you want to call in and share your own story. Mitch, thank you so much. Shout out to Chrysilis for hooking this up. One of my high school classmates that is in your area now that actually tunes in whenever she's home and watches social media and checks us out. So I appreciate the hookup. getting to know about the great landmark marketing and recovery. Thank you much.
Thank you.
All right. So look, everybody, when I was in undergrad, like this is a season in life where we get it in. And what that looks like for some people is different. So, Black, you were there. We were there together. And there were seasons in life where, and I think it happens normally in college for people that are not exposed to that, like in high school or middle school. Some people start drinking and smoking early or may start doing whatever they're doing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But college is typically a time where you see people
Trying stuff.
yeah, or either they succeed or they totally fail. They get sucked in.
Yep.
So I kind of wanted to talk about that, just considering where we are, what season it is. It's football season. We're going to homecomings. We're
Yep.
seeing our homies.
Speaking of football, can I
What?
get a remote to the television?
Oh,
No,
The Bucks
I'm
and the
liking
Cowboys.
this.
What?
No, Mom.
What? The Bucks and the Cowboys are playing.
Oh, that is this. Okay.
You not watching?
I am.
What?
See, we can
Ain't no
multitask
closed caption on it.
because it's. I don't know.
May I have a remote, please?
I have to find it. We'll find it during the break.
Hey, doing his day job, he's my boss. But
But
tonight,
You're not
no,
watching this.
I'm just messing. Give
So
him the remote.
HBCU.
Yeah.
Now, some of us have also gone to other institutions where
Yeah.
we saw other things. I went to a predominantly white institution for my graduate degree, and I saw students dealing with some major things when it came to substance use. I know how we got it in. Oh, that's the story I was about to tell. I know how we
Yep,
kicked
sir.
it.
Yeah.
I also know how
Thank you, Jesus.
right, we made it.
We
right?
made it.
I also know how when you're in college, you can drink underage and nobody asks any questions. I don't
At all.
remember how that happened. Like we go to the club on a Thursday or whatever it was,
We were 18.
and you order drinks and nobody asked any questions.
And
There was
nobody
a
asked
spot
nobody
near
nothing.
my college where I went down the road
Oh, we went.
who had, a little past us had, you can go get a gallon of beer
Like what?
with the cups on top.
And ain't nobody 21, right?
Nobody in the
How-
car is remotely close to 21.
Oh, right. So who creates the issues? Like, yeah, I started drinking in college, or I started smoking in college, and when I started smoking, I realized that I was studying better, and I was more
was
social, and I was
focused.
able to, whatever you use, whatever your mind is starting to tell you that these substances are filling the voice for. They make me, I'm with the cool people, whatever that is for you. And then you fast forward to 25, 30 years later, and oh man.
Man, we had our best
Now it's
time
not
on
strong
the
enough.
we had our best time on the
Mm.
band field when we was a little inebriated.
Doing what? Like you falling,
Band
right?
practice.
Man, nah, the band director said,
I'd purchase.
you cut up when you're drunk.
See, so like
Hey,
the
man.
culture, right? The culture
Yeah.
of addiction, how it starts.
He
even
wasn't
here.
okay in it. He just didn't know, He found out later on that we were
Like, oh, that's why y'all doing so good.
in them cups.
Y'all was a little saucy.
So like
Saucy.
just to speak to that though, when we see people in the why did you bring that to the air? When you realize like how these issues started and remember that once they were not issues, these were just things that we did socially, and
Right.
then the issues that they turn into for you.
I feel like we're a different generation. Then there were certain things that we would not try. Now it's
Booger
like no
sugar.
limit.
Yeah, like what?
Like
Well-
now to hear about certain people like overdosing on heroin and
Shrooms,
stuff like that. It's
heroin.
like
Well,
black people don't
and-
do that.
And then
Like,
too,
not
like
new
young
ones do.
people,
Like-
but now they do.
and back then, I'm not an advocate for this. I'm not saying do it, but back then in the early 90s when I was in school, you had 2 kinds of weed.
That mid.
You had
Rigid?
Rigid and me.
right. I mean, either there was no seeds and stems in
Shake?
it,
That
Oh,
mid-
or
hold on.
you
that,
had to spend all your time trying to get the seeds and stems out.
Yeah.
Now you got
that Babbage.
golden glow,
Something
cotton candy, pickle
Bruh,
juice.
Moon
What
rock.
is
Moon-
this?
Bro, like what it's
What is this? Yeah.
and you know it's more potent because it's less of it
Yeah.
to get you
One
to
hit
get
a quitter.
these folks zooted back in the
and
day.
then think about the behaviors too. What you're seeing, you just saw a 19-year-old go and shoot up people on a rampage for 22 hours, and everybody talked about how high he was. He had to be on something.
And then he was smiling.
Yeah, he was zooted.
Wait, where?
so substance Memphis.
Memphis.
So
Oh.
so substance use mixed with mental health issues,
It's a problem.
a serious problem, and that's what
Yeah.
we're in now. So I'm really giving big ups to any recovery center system that is working. There are a lot of them who are not working, and whichever one of y'all asked that question about the success rate. It's hard to gauge it because I see a lot of local recovery places where people will go And then the people that go are back out in a couple of weeks, and then they report that there are drugs in the centers.
Remind me to talk to you about what we talked about a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
Denver.
Yeah.
We're gonna make that connect tonight.
Let's do that. Yeah. Like,
How are there drugs in the centers?
good question.
It's drugs in the prisons.
That's true.
Tons of drugs.
And
in the
they're being
prisons.
brought in.
And they are on videotape showing you that they on
They
phone.
they made that in the toilet too.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So addiction, if I go to the extreme of making something in a toilet to take or to use, what is wrong? Like what am I voided of?
Hey folks, just eat more cheese. That should be your only addiction.
Hey, it's Italian cheese month.
Italian
I'm in
cheese
there.
month.
I'm in
I
that
think you
piece.
should plan a celebration.
Eat broccoli.
What's needed when you celebrate?
Huh?
What's needed when you celebrate? What do you need for a celebration?
Refreshments.
Like for me, cheese.
Really?
Yeah.
No drinks. You don't have to have
I don't
drinks.
have to have that. Cheese is my comfort food. Y'all know.
I don't drink.
He's a red stripe guy.
Yeah, if I do anything, it'll be a red stripe. Other than that,
A red stripe.
Like one.
Just one stripe.
Yeah, I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm not one of those dudes.
I love wine.
Okay. You
and
love it?
Jam
I
jar.
love wine.
Love.
Jam jar.
Jam
Yeah.
jar.
Okay.
I said what I said.
Jam jar is
Oh,
overrated.
okay.
Call the man back. Call the man back from the recovery spot.
Okay,
She loves
so
it.
like the terminology, right? When we talk about what we like, what we need.
I didn't say I needed it. I said I love a good glass of wine.
How often?
Because you're still using love.
Boom.
Right. How often do I have? I don't drink every day. I
I'm
don't.
call
You
them
good.
folks. I'm call
Um,
them people.
And actually, I don't. I prefer wine over
Why you
like
moving your
hard
hand
alcohol.
like that? Why you moving your fingers like that?
Because I feel like y'all trying to judge me. Up
Ain't
here,
nobody
and I got
judging you. I'm
you.
on your side.
You are.
But
Yeah.
this is the
Cool
this
glasses,
is the,
lady.
Thanks.
I
goodness.
see you.
Stop.
What?
Wow.
Jeez.
Such a hater.
Such a-
Both of them like cheese, woo. So you know they
But
made
it's
a
like
connection.
looking at each other all in the face with these glasses and
I
stuff,
found
like,
love
what is going on?
on a two-way
Look me in my eyes if you want to.
okay.
That's fine.
I
In
get
my
you,
shades.
Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. So, like I said, I prefer wine over hard liquor. That's actually it doesn't even taste good. Hard alcohol doesn't taste good to me. I also like Angry Orchards, but I do not have to have one every day.
I can
I
make
will
you a drink
say-
you like.
Okay.
I'm
Dave,
tired of
talk
this.
to me, please.
I'm tired of this. Woo.
Exactly.
This is.
You
We'll
gotta be
back.
watching.
Love connection. We're back in 2 and 2.
I'm just saying.
This is getting real
Whoa.
weird over here to my right.
You know
Woo.
what?
I
On there, we're
cook
just gonna take a
well.
break.
I make
No,
drinks.
just hold on. We're gonna take a
Hey.
break, and we'll come back. We're gonna talk about this off the air.
We're
And
gonna
if
find a
you
remote too.
sure, we're gonna do all of this.
Hey, Woo, but he gave you the precursor in the
I
text
did.
group.
I
He said,
told
I
you.
might be a
Hey,
little
shout out
festive.
to my man Ladarius. His birthday.
Happy birthday, Il Hilliard. Yeah, we'll be back. It's D949 WATV on Sunday nights. The V stands for vital.
The V stands for the vibe, y'all.
Nah, but yeah.
And there is a something I heard on Instagram about, hey, yeah, she was, people are infatuated with the royals, but the reasons why they can't explain. And I heard one guy, I'm going to share it tonight on social media, but this Caucasian male shared that, hey, this lady was connected to the apartheid. She was connected to this. She's been in reign for like 8 decades, 7 decades.
Since she was 25.
25 years old. She died in 96, 92, 96.
Wait, what? Who?
The Queen of England.
Oh, yeah.
So the idea that a lot of people are really into the royals is because they hold that hierarchy of Caucasian-ness.
You know, it's crazy. I was talking about this the other day. Like, it's crazy. So, like, you now have a king. Wasn't no vote, wasn't no nothing. In
Succession.
Hold on. In 2022, you just got a succession plan, like, legit. Somebody died. The next day, somebody became king, and you ain't had no option.
I kind of said the same thing.
That's crazy, man.
And then the fact that it started from one family a long time ago. Like,
and they just showed that if Black Googles it,
yeah,
which she is, there's a whole. It's down to William now and their children. Like they showing the path, so it's gonna stay in that family forever and a day.
We might have a Black prince.
Well, Meghan Markle ain't okay. Anyway, let's talk about. Let's go.
I thought they was excommunicated or whatever.
No,
they back.
Well,
she did.
yeah.
They back.
Are they good?
Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
they back over there. They
whatever.
chilling.
But look, like the idea of that, right? This is the one system that this one white family, all white until now, where there has been a problem. They call Meghan a diva. People have called her whatever. And she ain't as Black as I would like for her to be.
And the Queen was part of that issue. She didn't like that lady.
Nope,
Game of Thrones.
I can kind of see. Well, I don't know. I don't know her, but
Scared of the cookout at the castle.
it ain't gonna be seasoned.
Hey man,
Meghan ain't seasoned. Okay, let's really
cookout at the
How you
castle.
know?
just look at her.
She's a casserole. She's a casserole chick, ain't it?
She like she seasoned the grease like what's the name?
She's a casserole
like,
chick.
why are you putting seasoning?
She throw everything in the pot and call it casserole.
Yeah, it's something. I
Y'all
just
don't
like
season the grease?
casserole. No, nah, not really.
Casserole.
I love chicken
Y'all
casserole.
season the oil though, right?
No, we do not. You don't put seasoning in oil.
So it can burn.
Oh,
not
hold
even-
on. Let me tell you what you're not gonna do.
Here it goes.
What you
Woo,
not
make
gonna
it
do is
stop.
I
You
cannot.
ain't gonna
Ooh, make
fade
it
me,
stop.
man. Don't do that.
Make it stop.
I cannot. Look.
Make it last forever.
Oh,
I can't.
you gonna walk out again? They walk out every week. Y'all stop. We gotta talk about the Queen.
Okay, we talking about
Let's
her.
talk
Are we
about the
gonna do a
royals.
live show at some point? Because like I think people have.
I need to see this.
Y'all stop.
My
This I be in
bad.
a group chat. I just be looking at the phone like I wish they would shut up.
It don't be
Stop.
me. It don't be me.
Look,
No, hold on. What y'all do in that group chat, man? I be asleep trying to take a nap.
Chuck,
It'd be
stop.
35 messages.
I'm the queen.
back
I'm
to back.
speaking. 96 years old. I've reigned since I was 25. What did she do? Like, what do you do?
She's a figurehead.
So
Like, they
who-
don't really have any power for
you
prime-
sure?
yeah.
The
What-
prime minister.
What do you think the net worth, that family's net worth is?
real.
Ah.
So what's crazy is, all right, so I'm glad you said that. So individually, they got bread, but they don't have the bread that you think they got because a lot of the stuff is involved in the estate. They don't individually, they individually own some properties that are in their name, but like Buckingham Palace, the
That belongs
crown
to the people-
jewels,
to the-
all that's all within the estate. Like
Well, they're all millionaires apiece.
They
Well-
should
well,
be.
you're
royals.
whatever the equivalent is.
The entire royal family was estimated to be worth at least $88 billion in 2017.
Jesus,
But
that
that's
is
the-
a
but
lot
again,
of
that's
money.
the estate. You
88
can't-
billion.
But
Yeah.
then the Queen Elizabeth II, she has 500 million in personal assets, and they're trying to figure out where that goes now
Right.
that she's dead.
Wait a minute now. What?
Right, my point.
What?
88 billion collectively, but
88
she
billion.
has
But those are-
500 million herself.
collectively, but collectively also means the estate with the entire family. Like, so they cannot individually sell off all of those assets. right?
And the assets are land and what and what?
Land, the jewels, like I said, Buckingham Palace, their attire, garb, like all of that stuff.
Because when William moved
This
back
is
the other
nuts.
day, come to find out that Buckingham Palace has not just the palace on the property. There are other cottages on the property because William and Harry are not talking, but William
Yeah, they
lives
been
on
beefing
one
for a minute.
cottage on the back side of the palace, and then Harry lives in another cottage on the other side of the palace. But both of them are
Oh,
mansionish.
He lives in an outhouse.
No, they're not outhouses. No, they ain't outhouses. They some
It's like these cottage to us is like
like
cottage.
a
Malaysian
bungalow.
estate.
No,
Right.
these ain't bungalows. These are what we would find over in a nice sized neighborhood around here. But they're
Y'all.
smaller than the mansion. Than the
And we'll
castle.
never be royals. How do
Is that
Actually,
Lord?
this says
that was Lord?
this
Black, before
is-
you read it,
I
I
be
have,
DJing a
I
little
have a
bit.
question.
all right.
How do you become the family that is the royal family? Like, whoever said this?
Who started
in
it?
one
Who- right.
Let's see.
It's like the
Well,
God
I-
thing. Like, where did it come from? Who said this?
And you can't get and it's a family lineage that's running stuff forever.
That's what I'm saying.
Why?
Just a
How?
succession
I don't know.
plan.
Who told them they could do that?
Ain't you glad
I
we
think
ain't
they
got that
voted
over
on it
here?
or something. Hold on.
Bruh, because I need to know about the family. So, Black, tell me what you know.
I just read that Meghan Markle is worth $60 million.
Sure.
That ain't a lot.
Just
though,
her.
Is it?
That's just
Hey, let me
her.
hold a
Just
million.
her.
Oh,
That ain't
no,
Williams
hey,
joint.
no,
That's just her.
Oh, let me hold a million.
I mean, it's like.
You
60
say that
million.
ain't a lot.
You
Not
said-
for somebody. Not
Let me
for.
hold 100,000.
Not for a princess.
Did she have that before she became the princess?
She had some money because she was an actress. She was in Suits and all that other kind of stuff.
Was she?
Yes,
See, she's so.
that's how I know Meghan Markle. I don't know her.
And
Oh,
she
you
used to
know
hold a
her.
briefcase.
No. I'm sorry. That's
how I
know
met her
of
that time.
She be at Plum.
Doing what?
I seen her at Plum.
No, you didn't.
I down the patio. Long Island Tea.
Look, no. I just want to
The
know.
Party Rockers.
Shouts out.
Playing what?
Huh?
Lee Saint.
Baby, no, sir.
He said, "No,
would
sir."
push you off.
Unseasoned.
I need to know, Miss Black.
England was conquered by the Normans in 1066. So that's how far it's dated. back.
1066. Okay.
The first member of the royal family starts with the Windsors.
And the Tudors. It's a
Oh.
whole
Lily
I
Mountbatten
do remember that.
Windsor.
But how did it change over to
Elizabeth them.
right?
What's she
Marriage.
Okay, because somebody's
Like
daddy-
Elizabeth
somebody.
actually became queen because her father was king. And her mother was queen. But when her father died, like her mother she wasn't queen anymore.
But she wasn't a family for real.
Right. But Queen Elizabeth II actually was. So that's how she got to be queen at age 25.
How did her daddy become king?
His daddy.
See, it's still
So who
the
told
lineage.
his daddy that he could be
Exactly. So it's still in the same
It's the whole
bloodline.
succession thing.
So if I say that I want to be queen of something and I started today, would y'all uphold me in that?
You can be queen of you. You can't be queen
See,
of
so
the country.
somebody had to
You
support
be a
her.
dope queen though.
Thank
We're gonna have
you.
house parties.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, boy, look at that.
I'm just trying to. Can we do it?
Well, my
I
queen,
do
for, my queen for
yes,
Inland.
we
I'm
can.
gonna be like my queen for Inland, cuz.
You see what I mean?
Birmingham
Like,
got a queen for Inland,
can we
cuz.
not do that?
Look, why we talking about this? I was in Dollar General the other day, and this man walked past me and
Okay,
said,
well, that's a
"You are
transition.
Amazonian queen." I thought to myself, I thought Amazon meant like big, and I'm like a whole 5'4".
Shouts out to my queen, Tiffany. Hey, babe, I love you.
You stay trying to plug your wife.
Boy, I
Okay.
love her.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But bum.
Like, look at Dave in love.
So
Y'all need to find love like Dave and Tip. But
you
I'm
just
telling you.
found it.
Right, sitting
No, I'm
next to
saying
you.
y'all, like people out there. Y'all need to
Oh,
find
'cause you
people
got
who
it.
love each other.
Don't worry about us.
To the
I said
right.
Y'all.
Worry about
To the
yourself.
right, to the right.
Worry about yourself.
Okay.
Worry about yourself.
So the queen, she was 96. We just kind of figured out that she was just the queen by formality and didn't run nothing. But we're praying for her
That's
family.
why her husband wasn't king.
And her husband was her
Her
cousin.
cousin. I was like, oh my god.
There's some incestuous stuff happening.
Yeah.
In that
The
way.
incestuous succession.
I like
Oh,
it. I mean, I don't like it.
what else happened this week? R. Kelly had a lot of money on his book.
Hey man, we don't talk about
He
that.
we got to.
did.
Hey, man.
'Cause listen,
Y'all be giving
You could do-
him and
listen.
Mr. Red had too much time on this show.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
they say
No,
the
it was
news.
new.
It's vital.
12 Play and Love Letters, still the two cold albums. I'm sorry.
Bruh.
I'm not spinning neither one of those. Keep going.
Okay.
Well,
you may not spin it, but what happened, Black?
federal judge Ann Donnelly ordered the Bureau of Prisons to turn over $27,828 from Kelly's inmate trust account in Chicago
They took
to
his
be paid out
commissary?
to his commissary to be paid out to his victims.
Why?
Because he
'Cause
owes his victims money, so they
Because his
getting
partner's
paid.
dropping money on his books. He's like, if you got this money coming on your book, pay these folks.
Yeah, so they're
They're not
holding
getting it
it.
from his estate.
They getting it from his commissary.
They
They,
get
they,
it from
they,
where
Forget
they
your
can.
chips.
they
That's
cleared
weird.
out the estate.
Did they? I didn't know that.
That was gone. Remember, so like royalties and all that stuff. It was a whole conversation about how that was impacted. But I want to know, like in our day jobs, in
But
your day
hold on,
job,
he's still getting royalties from every spin. So like, is that going
But
to?
he's-
Is there a victims fund?
He
I don't know
still
anything about this.
he still owes $150,000 in fines and fees.
to
And remember,
the
he's
victims.
broke. Just
No
period.
honey buns and Capri Suns this
Robert
week, Jack.
From his
They
sentence,
left him $500.
He is not broke. I promise you that man is.
And
not
I would think so too. So listen to this. This is what I've been thinking about. Out of all of the people that he affected, there was somebody that was down enough to-
victimized.
victimized,
Okay.
and those families that he affected. Because some people are just affected or impacted by it. If I'm a part of this situation, this R. Kelly fiasco, and I was somebody that was actually willing, and he knew that I was down, would he not give me some money to hold?
He got their parents' money.
Hey man, he got some money under some mattresses somewhere. I promise you that. Robert, he is not broke. That's just not true. It's not broke.
In your day job, would you say, hey, you can't have any money, you need to give it to your victims?
Yeah.
You would?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean,
would.
because he terrorized a bunch of people. I don't rock with that dude, man. Y'all know how I feel about him. So like, whatever. He's a
Okay.
predator. Like, I mean, that's just I'm cool.
So, Predator.
I was like, speaking of predators,
Predator.
did y'all see Aries Spears get punched in the head all them times?
Bruh.
I still
You got to check the
Bruh.
room,
Then him and Tiffany Haddish. That's just
Right.
I had to send that what y'all sent to me. I had to send it to somebody else so they could show me. That was wild, yo.
Yeah.
Like he was talking. Oh, you talking about the video that got all this?
Yeah, with the
conversation
kids.
started.
He lost-
Like,
So
Yeah,
let's go
that's
back
crazy.
and recap about what we're speaking of.
because
So
we weren't here last Sunday.
right, last week, two young people came forward. Jane and John Doe came forward saying that they're. I misread it first. I thought they said that their sister Tiffany Haddish, but that wasn't the case. But they're basically friends of Tiffany Haddish's. Her mother is her friend. The mother of these two people that came forward is Tiffany Haddish's friend, and she was going to help them with their career by putting them in some small skits and plays. She did that, and after they got older and realized that something was wrong with it and that it was inappropriate and that they basically had been molested and sexually assaulted, they came forward and they filed suit against Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears. Now, within the same week that this came out, Aries Spears had also just attacked Lizzo.
Mhm.
Remember I was saying that when we got off the air the last time?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was within that same week where he said that she looked like a poop emoji. And then the next week, he was
That's
poop.
not funny.
But he said
So
it, and that's
did
what
he-
opened the
he
door.
said it.
Hey,
Right.
Lizzo dropped them ha-has on you, boss.
Did he and Tiffany Haddish actually touch those kids?
That's what
those-
I'm confused about what you just
They
said.
used the word molested in what I read.
Because it was called from out of
In
the
a
eyes of a
pedophile-
predator or something like
in the,
a
through a pedophile's
pedophile.
eyes.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
on the video, it showed, for those of you who haven't seen it, our listeners and viewers who haven't seen it, on this video, it shows an uncle and a mother who continues to drop her son off at their uncle's house. The uncle does a lot of inappropriate things. Like he puts the kid in the tub and he's like,
I saw
got
that
peek
part.
holes through a newspaper, looking at the little boy. Different weird, inappropriate and harmful things. Like a lot of people were triggered by the video. It wasn't funny. And at the end of it, they wanted to put up the message, watch who you leave your kids with. But I'm like, some things are just not sketch material.
It's like
Everything
that
ain't
email.
content.
It's like that email where like you ain't think this through before you hit send.
Yeah, like
Like,
everything ain't content.
Ain't nobody stand up in the production room and be like, hey, so maybe we shouldn't do this.
The parent didn't say, hey, I want them to get on, but not like this.
Not like
Right.
that.
Nobody said anything, and it came on the heels of Aries talking about Lizzo. Bro, you out here making stuff like this. So then just today we get another video where he got punched in the head 5 times.
By who?
By a radio personality that's on Corey Holcomb's show.
Y'all.
Yeah, he
Like,
gave him that
he got
word.
into it.
Who is Corey Holcomb?
The
Comedian Corey Holcomb.
He has
The one that
it's a web like
Well,
podcast.
Yeah.
It's not like
Um,
us.
And he was making light skin jokes.
Aries.
Aries Spears was making light skin jokes, and the guy was a light skin guy, and they went back and forth for a few minutes. And light skin got up and like Donkey Kong him like 4 times in the head.
It was
Snuffed him, huh?
It's strange because it's almost
him
like
that
I'm
work.
just doing this for other reasons. I'm not really doing this about these light skin jokes. It's that type
Right.
of energy.
Yeah.
He like
Like he already was like kind of confrontation.
I don't want you in here anyway.
I
Can
don't
y'all
want you sitting next to
imagine?
me.
Can
You
y'all
nasty.
imagine somebody that we kind of not feeling right now, sitting right here, and then all of a sudden,
They start talking about somebody with locks, then I get up and I punch them in the head.
Like
Or
five
they
times.
don't
Work.
woo no more. Why'd you cut your hair?
because I wanted to.
Okay, that's it.
It's true.
I ain't know.
Oh, you know, it's hair. It'll grow
I didn't
back.
know.
Just like yours.
Okay,
Same-
yeah,
same
it'll grow
concept,
back.
right? It'll grow back.
I mean, I cut my hair for a reason.
Me too.
Okay. But you ain't gonna tell us.
Why you always do that? Because like I never do. Yeah, that really is why. Just because I wanted to.
I mean, it's not hot no more. It's about to be fall. So like,
And I did think about that. I always cut it in the opposite season. I don't
I
know
used
what
to do
that's
that.
about.
Yeah.
It's
I used to
kinda,
cut my hair off at like January 1st.
and not really
It's about to
thinking
be
about,
cold.
like, oh, okay. So I got a dope hat collection.
But according to what I'm reading, back to this thing, it says that it was removed in
Black.
2018.
What was removed?
That video.
The video, but it's 2022. So why are we just hearing about it?
Somebody
They just-
held
they
on
just
to
got
it for the
upset.
right type
Yeah.
money.
Maybe right. They just started to feel away,
No, I'm
or
looking
it
at
really was the money. Comment right here says Aries Spears can't buy. He can't even buy good publicity.
Then you got them raccoon circles around his eyes.
Did you see the picture of what he used to look like
Yes.
compared to what he looks like
Yeah.
now?
Yes.
I don't even remember him looking like that.
I don't either.
Do y'all do shout outs?
Sure.
They already did one.
Oh no, we didn't do ours.
Because Beasley?
Oh,
What's I don't know how to say that.
Courtney J. Beasley.
Oh, Courtney J.
Oh, I
Why
see
is the
Courtney.
J next to the Y? Ain't no-
Because that's how it's on there. Hey, Courtney.
Oh, so it's not Court. Okay.
Hey, Sonia. Yeah, we did a few, Chuck.
My bad.
And Ryan Golden again. What's up to you? We did.
What's
So-
cracking, folks?
And we may see different feeds as well.
And Aaron Spears has he has
Is he
way
funny?
more hate. He's from New York.
Is he funny?
no.
No, he's not funny. He's a hater for the most part, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I've never seen. I don't think I ever seen.
See?
Like he didn't even. He might have been on Comic View twice.
He caught them quick hands
Comic
too.
View is still a thing?
No.
BET? Is
He-
BET still a thing? I'm so
Yes.
lost.
What is
Yeah,
going on?
it is. I watched Martin on there.
Yeah,
every
He
day.
gave
I
you the
promise he-
precursor. Woo.
Look, I promise he's vital, okay?
I just be asking questions. I
Yeah.
feel like the fact that I don't know these things sometimes is like good for
It's
the
really
show,
good. It
'cause I
really
can talk
is.
about it.
Yeah, it really is.
I didn't know that.
And this is the work of Vital. Like it is to expose people to different things and different people that are doing things. Jamil says he ain't been relevant since Mad TV, and that's
Facts.
I didn't even
He
watch
was on
Mad
Mad
TV.
TV?
Yeah.
yeah,
Facts.
I ain't really
That's a
watched Mad
long
TV
time
either.
ago,
Right.
yo.
So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Mr. Webb.
Facts.
So anything else happened this week, you all, before we go to our second half of the show? Second half.
JID dropped an album last week.
He sure did. I
And
like
he
that.
dropped an album.
Who
like,
did?
like a
He
real
did.
deal album.
JID.
You know what? We gotta talk, Chuck.
You don't rock with it?
Hey man, I just don't.
Like we don't even
Oh,
know what you're talking about.
I'm confused because
Okay.
I thought you were gonna be the one that's like you all the way in there. Have you listened to it?
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, listen
so
to
you
it. Give
can't
it
But hey,
burn.
woo, real talk though. It's too much commonalities going on over to my right. They both like cheese. They both talking about
Who
this
doesn't like
JID
cheese?
album.
Hold on, hold on.
And she's like, yeah, I
who
did.
doesn't like cheese?
Woo,
Hmm.
send them on a date to Chick-fil-A.
No, we good. I don't eat meat. I'm not a carnivore.
Let's
What
get
I mean,
you
that's
that.
Chick-fil-A. Some waffle
and,
fries?
And I like bacon, so
She like bacon.
You know how to cook it, don't you?
Yeah. I cook
Okay, then.
whatever.
It's too.
We'll talk about it. We're gonna work on it today.
Keep going, woo.
Okay. So
You have not
Oh,
listened to the
other-
album for real? That's crazy, yo. You need to get
a lot of people don't even know what you're talking about, but Jay-Z does have a dope long verse on
Man, no, it's
God
not dope.
did.
Don't do
Yes,
that.
it is.
No, it is not. Hold on.
Yes,
That
it
is the
is.
most overrated verse. Come on.
It is
wasn't-
dope, and
I
it's
wasn't
long.
impressed.
It's just long. It ain't dope. He just
He
talk.
told a story.
Okay. All right. Well,
I like narrative art. Right?
I'm with you, but like that is the most overrated thing. Like everybody's talking about
I'm about
Jay
to
got this
freestyle.
fire
Don't worry
verse
about it. I'm about to
on.
freestyle. Hold on.
So
Go, woo.
Let me
have
see what
y'all
I'm on.
seen
16.
I'm gonna try to get to you. Go ahead, Black.
Have y'all seen the recent outburst of Ray J?
Who?
He on the Crystals commercials now, so I'm
yeah,
good.
he is.
He's on.
Yeah, he do the Crystals commercials. But Ray J has came out and said that Chris Jenner is behind
Oh, I
all the
did see
sex
that.
tapes. He has went off. They've been picking at him. Kanye actually said something to him about it, about meeting up with him to get like the last video that he might have possibly
Oh,
had,
yeah.
all of that stuff. And then now Ray Jenner came out and said that like basically Chris Jenner put that sex video in motion and marketed it and came to him and, told
blow
him
up.
right, and watched it and told him, well, no, we're going to use the second one because Kim looks better in the second one than she does
I
in
can
the
see
first
that.
one.
Is that
Jesus.
where it started?
Yeah, pimp.
What did it start with them or did it start with Paris Hilton?
Like
I can't
that,
remember which one
child.
was first.
I can't remember. Paris Hilton, who was in the video?
I don't know. She had a sex tape.
She did. I do
It
remember.
was like
that.
green and black light or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Ray J, same thing.
Do they still have chili cheese puffs at Crystals?
Yes, and
Yes,
that's what I
they
always get in my
do.
4 for 4
I used to. Get, what is that? You get 4 things for $4?
For $4.
or 5 for 5.
Context clues.
Yo, Vital the simulcast. Look, other things that happen. Let's go local. the Birmingham Waterworks Board, should they disband the
Ooh.
board? Like, is that
Ooh.
necessary?
Yes.
Like, why they need a board for the water? What's going on?
They can't
Ooh.
disband the board.
Why not?
Y'all,
Does
I
Alabama
may have
Power
woke
have
up
a
and
board?
said good morning to everybody. It's at the Birmingham.
They got a
Waterworks.
foundation.
I was so weak.
Yeah, that was petty. What? Good morning to everybody except the Birmingham Waterworks Board. So, like the board, first of all, they are not employees of the board of the waterworks whatever
But they get
institution.
paid.
So, okay,
That's
you
a
get
paid-
paid.
That's a paid board.
So, because I'm paid, who is my boss?
I
Who
mean,
appoints me?
it depends. Like the mayor has an appointee, then the county has certain appointees.
Mhm.
And Shelby County, it's expanded now. So Shelby County gets to say, I can't Blunt County, maybe not Blunt County.
Miss Black is going to get us some information
Yeah.
on who makes up
The
the Waterworks
researcher will
Board.
research it.
But like you think about Alagasco, you don't hear about Alagasco or Spire being in the news about the board.
Shout out to
No.
Kelvin Johnson, Inspired.
You don't hear about well, you do.
And I
hear
get
about
my
Max
bill on
Jackson.
time every time. And thank you for that $25 bill, Expire.
Okay. What about Spectrum? You don't hear about a board with Spectrum. You don't hear about a board with
You're right.
you don't have to hear about them,
yes.
right? Like I didn't say that I'm on the Sickle Cell Foundation board. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Because we're not involved in the day-to-day operations of what happened. Boards, I don't know where boards are directly involved with water bills and who, like, why is it so messy?
There's an historical context to it that I
Right.
can't get all the way.
Right.
I'm good, Dave. I got the game on right here.
So
Okay.
Appreciate it.
It's almost like I just want to dig a water well and
Okay.
just rock that way. So, Black, what you find out?
So 2 directors are appointed by the mayor of Birmingham.
Okay.
4 directors are appointed by the Birmingham City Council. 1 director is appointed by the Jefferson County Mayors Association.
Right.
1 director is appointed by the Shelby County
Yep.
Commission, and 1 director is appointed by the Blount County Commission.
It is Blount County. So it's 9 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Michael Johnson is the
Groovy.
general
I know.
manager of Birmingham Waterworks Board, where he's responsible for providing services for over 600,000 customers in 5 county service areas. He has 37 years of management and accounting experience. He was designated general manager on March 27, 2019.
Okay.
But what's up with my water bill and what
So-
y'all doing?
Right. So the fact that, like, it was a whole debate about the sewage, like that's 2 separate bills. That was a thing. And then,
It's double.
The sewage is a high thing.
Like
now,
my
right?
sewage
Isn't
and
it?
my water are the same.
so then, you got people with a septic tank.
My
You
mom
remember
has a septic tank.
Yep.
Like you would have to,
You have to get that service every few years or whatever, but
right.
you don't
have a sewer part.
right. You just pay a water bill. My mom has just a water bill. Her water bill be like $25 a month.
So
But she live out in Shelby County too.
what? Well, maybe we should get a representative in, but it's so much about
Good
it.
luck. Not right now.
Right.
Ain't nobody about to pull up to no radio
Like
station.
so
to
much happens, and a
waterworks.
lot of people don't even understand what the issue is. Some people just know that they have a high bill, and some people know that they haven't got one. Others of us know that, hey, my bill is the same price as somebody else's right across the street. It's the
Who got
exact
a
same
pool.
bill, right? How is this?
So can you tell me how all of this started? 'Cause I think I heard someone say something about the city was getting a bill of people that
How what started?
I was about to say it started.
this last
years
little
ago,
no,
didn't
no.
it?
I mean, with
It
this
started
last,
just like the
with
Queen.
this last little,
It
Wow.
just happened.
Well, I mean,
this last little bit
Birmingham sold the waterworks.
when Randall started making all of the. I mean, when Mayor Woodford started making the post in the last couple of weeks, what triggered that?
It just popped off. It was like boom.
So it was
somebody made a complaint.
It was that whole thing
Okay.
about everybody was an entire department was resigning like the next day or something.
No, that came after the late Miss.
Somebody made a.
Miss,
I thought
Miss
somebody made
Pryor
a,
or
a
somebody by
complaint,
that
right?
name.
There are a lot of people that have been making complaints.
But
like,
he used this one lady. This lady wrote in and made a complaint about her bill. And
It was super
know,
super duper
right,
high.
we got to do something. Y'all need to do something about this because our citizens are upset. That's what started it. And then
Mayor Woodford made a
yeah,
okay.
it was a whole that happened. Then it started falling on the president who was appointed by the mayor. It's really
You
different.
mean the chair,
The chair, yeah.
Chris?
Really odd, right?
Yeah.
That happens. And so then from that
What?
point,
I mean, everybody he's in the paint.
Bro, I'm nothing.
Looking at me
Nothing.
like
I ain't did nothing.
Like,
Like,
don't
don't
say
say me
it.
like, why you calling the name?
Man,
Like,
I ain't
it's what it
said
is.
nothing.
That's my guy too.
But
I'm
Shout
listening
out,
to
but
who?
remember-
shout out to Chris Rice show.
yeah, for sure. Remember before this whole situation, a couple people like went to jail behind them. I wouldn't sit on the damn waterworks board if it gave me free water.
I don't know why anybody
Jeez.
wants to be the mayor of something or sit on the
Baby,
waterworks. Yeah,
'cause
like
I'm
it's
taking on
crazy.
your issues, and y'all just went to jail, and I'm good.
In 2019, the Waterworks Board owed $957 million.
To who?
Like that's why I be want to know who you owe it to,
Like,
and how
what
you
is
owe
going-
and we paying you.
It's like the queen.
957 million.
To who?
Like, why aren't you paying your bill once we pay our bill?
You.
Right.
Is it a lake? Do you go to the lake and then purify it and then send it out? How does this go?
Any of these food commercials?
Hey.
This dude.
Bro,
It was Taco Bell and it just made my stomach bubble.
you need to hit him like Aries guy.
Hey, man, don't do that.
I'm not gonna
Don't
put
catch
my
a case.
hands on
I'm
him.
just trying. I'm just
Right.
trying
I'm
to
with
hit him.
you. I'm trying to figure out 957 million
To
to
who?
who?
How you write a check like that? Show his
Right.
cash.
Who do we pay? Who does the city?
What if I stop? If I stop paying it, they're gonna cut it off, and then I gotta wait on it to rain. Then I gotta boil my water. Then, like, that's a lot of stuff, right? So I don't take it for granted that we have a system.
So one of the most recent things that's happened, I do know this.
Mhm.
They wanted to go to automated meters, right?
Yep, and they denied it.
And they denied that. Now I don't know why. Well, I mean, I do know why, because they can't give y'all outrageous bills. if they
Right.
automatically-
It'll be more control over
Yep.
them.
Yep.
But Mayor Woodfin will put that on the table and they declined.
This thing is really interesting. If you have any opinion on what's happening in the city, like I don't know that a lot of people really pay. You just pay your bill, like no matter how high it is.
You don't
Just
and you
pay
don't
'cause
ask
you know
questions.
You're gonna need water.
right.
Just like during the pandemic when they weren't disconnecting anybody's water and stuff like that. And people actually weren't paying because they're like, they ain't gonna turn it off. You still gotta pay that bill.
At some
period.
point.
So I was still regularly paying mine, whether they sent me a bill or not. You can log online and see
What
a
it
bill
is.
on there, right? Just because you don't receive it in the mail don't mean that it don't exist.
So
I
you're
don't
not in
remember
the loop.
anything from the pandemic.
No, I'm up to.
So
Yeah.
you could. I
You
didn't know.
good.
That, I didn't know that you could continue.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that makes sense.
Back
I don't have a water
then-
bill, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Then
it's included.
right. Then
He just fronting on all y'all.
did
yeah,
not.
like,
High sided.
I mean, y'all got equity. I don't have equity. I'm renting. So
I'm renting too.
Oh well, then you have a water bill.
I'm squatting.
Whoa.
Uh,
Whoa.
so
I just
Are we fun to the people out there?
hell yeah.
That lady said I was squatting.
Let's
Wow.
go to the phone lines. Caller, you're in with Vital on B94.9 WATB, where the V stands for Vital. What's up? Turn your radio down. Turn your phone, whatever you're listening to. Turn it down.
I'm in another room. Let me cut it down.
Okay. So while she goes to do that, yeah, Chuck, that's what I hear all the
That
time.
we're fun?
Yeah, they.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm renting. I'm buying. I'm squatting.
I don't know what you call it.
You got a whole yurt out in the back of somebody's house.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for taking my call. I'm a retired social worker,
Mhm.
and I worked in the Birmingham Department of Human Resources. I saw this thing with the waterworks.
Okay.
I worked at Red Cross as a social worker. I saw what people are angry about. My clients, I saw how they were taken advantage of. Their water was cut off. Some of them had water bills that were several thousands of dollars. And this is not new, what's going on with the waterworks. Everything is just exposed now, and it's out there because of the social media and all of that. The mayor should have been angry about this situation, about what's been happening to people. That bill that you all mentioned is owed. That was done with a renegotiation with the bank in New York in the financing of that.
baby.
Right. There was a bond. There was a bond issuance.
Yes,
The money on the
that's
bond.
what happened.
I got you.
And it is ridiculous what happened. All of us know how banks are and how financing can be ridiculous. But with it the way it is, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, and on when I'm dead and gone will be paying for what has happened now. I don't know why the commission voted to do that like they did, that they didn't have better negotiating skills than they did when they did it a few years ago. I don't know. But Birmingham Waterworks used to be run by the city of
Right.
Birmingham, and it got out of the hands of Birmingham, and it shouldn't have.
Well, they sold it. It was the most precious asset that Birmingham had for an extended period of time. They sold it. Yeah.
Dang, that would have helped us pay off the World Games too, huh?
I ain't slow.
Man, so many
Ooh,
things.
I'm petty.
Ma'am,
I'm
how do
petty.
you enjoy
I'm
retirement?
petty.
While you
I'm
on the
petty.
She's gone.
Oh, did she leave?
Yeah.
What up,
We'll
bro?
call her. That was Mom.
You can call her back.
Oh, that was your mother?
Yeah.
That was your mother.
Yeah.
That was not my mother.
Well, my mama. My mama's
My mom.
My mama is sweet.
street lights been on.
994-8949. 994-8949 is the number if you want to call in and be a part of this conversation. I'm just thinking about, like I said, why like y'all got a board that people know about. Other boards, folks don't even know who on the board. You got to Google it.
I mean, you know some boards. You know, like Parks and Rec and some other things.
Not really.
But water is
Of course.
water is one of the cheapest bills you can have. So
It is.
how are we getting?
It's not cheap though, right? Isn't it more than most folks' power bill? That's why I
No.
keep. It's not.
No,
My
water.
power bill is $175 because I put my on 76 when I get home.
See, we squat. We put our bills on the budget.
You in this squat, man.
I'm just telling you, like, we make it work for us.
Right, we gotta do.
That lady said,
Gotta
I'm
do what you
squatting.
got. Gotta use
I'm
what you
weak.
got to get what you want. Mm.
Oh, that's a song.
That's a whole
Wasn't
quote.
that Patrick? That wasn't Patrick.
What?
Who was that?
That was off a movie.
Yeah, but there's also a song.
That was on Players Club. I remember.
I got
Patrick,
another
she was
topic I want to
dancing.
talk about later
That is
on. Too.
Patrick,
I want
I
to
think.
think. When I think about it, when you get done, I
Okay.
want to know your thoughts on it.
I think what time is it? Oh, yeah, we got like 20
8:31.
minutes. Dang. Okay. What else happened? I just thought about the Waterworks board and how people really don't know what's going on, but then they jump. I just saw the several posts and people like petty. I think that's where I was going with it. Just the idea that, okay, man, the mayor's so funny. He got on Facebook and
Yeah,
No,
he was
this is-
going in.
but this is like real deal stuff. So like
It
when
is.
people are just watching the shenanigans and don't know the history or either what the argument, they don't even know what it's about. So it's like,
Hey,
let's talk about that.
Shout out to the mayor too. I saw him at Art Walk yesterday.
Art Walk
Yeah,
was also
the mayor
at my
is
day
cool.
job yesterday as well.
It was what?
They opened it up at my day job.
Birmingham
Like,
got a
my
mayor
day
named
job, they
Randall
opened it up there.
Art Walk sucks.
Atlanta had one named Keisha.
and one named Dre. Now Birmingham, got, Atlanta got a mayor named Dre. Birmingham got a mayor named Randall.
Next one gonna be
I liked Keisha.
If they
Keisha.
mess
Who?
around,
Candace.
The
if,
next one gonna be who?
Candace.
if they mess around and have Mayor Dre and Governor,
That ain't gonna happen.
what's
What
her
her
name?
name?
Whatever you gotta say.
Stacy.
That's
yeah.
not happening.
Governor
Trailer.
Stacy and
Trailer.
Mayor Dre.
And Stacey ain't really. That's kind of like Meghan Markle.
She not gonna. I wish.
She says if she wins, she's trying to
need a
start
Governor
teachers
Bequeather.
out coming into the school system out of college at like 70,000.
Hey, good luck. Y'all not gonna
And
make
you
it
know what,
because you're not
Birmingham-
gonna win, unfortunately.
Cause Kemp still is gonna be in there.
I
But
saw
how dope is
articles-
that to have a mayor named Dre and a governor named Stacy?
That would be
That's
dope.
dope, boy.
But it's
I
not.
did see that Birmingham.
You don't
City
like me,
Schools
Ma?
was hiring as well.
Who?
Birmingham
Don't ask
City
me that.
Schools.
Yeah.
They're
Sir
in
next to
need
me.
of teachers in the city. And this week, an argument did come on social media about the violence and how do we reach our youth and how to help these people.
I
And
love
then
working with young men.
when
I
they
love mentoring young men,
posted
bro.
this job, everybody was like, "Hell no!" Like, okay, do you want to help the youth
Or
or not?
nah.
Because then when you get in a position where you can help the youth, and
It's
you
in the
can-
school system, this particular job.
Yeah, they're hiring for teachers in the school system.
Oh, got
Birmingham.
it. Got it.
But then, like, also, if you don't want to be a teacher, you have people that have the means to like create buildings and funds and stuff for kids. And what they do, they open up hookah bars and
Hold on,
have
boom.
parties.
Hold on, boom.
So kind of looking at, I guess what you're saying about these jobs being available that gives you a direct end to be
To-
able to directly impact.
Right. Because a lot of people are like, well, it starts in the community. And to be honest, as a community person, I'm not walking up to no grown man and telling him, hey, man, put the gun down. I might get shot myself. I saw a dude in all red Air Force Ones yesterday.
Leave him
And I
alone.
just thought that he might cap me, even though he real close up on me. I
Might
felt
put it-
really
Cause
Might
of
put
the
that blicky.
Man,
The
it's like
blicky.
it's like all black Air Force Ones. It's kind of like a sign of
Keep
getting
it
up that
fair.
life.
Got that burner on you.
But like the violence in the
Switches.
city has been just
Crazy.
pitiful.
'Cause,
and
like,
crazy. Like every time, like since we've been on the air, another
Mhm.
homicide has occurred.
That's
We've only been on the
crazy.
air since 7 o'clock.
I'm so tired of looking at the news.
Don't
My
look at
heart
the
hurts
news.
from looking at local news.
bro. Okay,
That's
so
why I don't watch the news.
ain't
Nothing good ever. Not
yeah.
good unless Alabama win. So the news is good on Saturday. News ain't good no other time.
And I mean, when we want to
Real time.
change and shift that conversation, I guess my thing is always, who are you talking to? Like right now, we're not talking to people that are actually in the midst of these situations that are committing these crimes. They don't listen to talk radio, right? They don't listen to V94.9.
They listen to mumble rap
And
people who
themselves.
drink syrup
Right?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with mumble rap, by the way.
and
Some of it
syrup
is cool.
and seizures.
I just said
awful.
mumble rap. I didn't say nothing about the lean.
So
Okay.
look, what's up, Patricia? Patricia says, remember, they have a lottery. Oh, in Georgia, okay. And then too many guns on the street, true. And then I got another comment. I think it's gonna be over 150 homicides. Like, I don't even know that we're even
Yeah.
still counting
We're
because
over 100 already.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you,
102?
it's just
Or now
September.
103?
Let's see.
Because of what you said. Hey, what you want to talk about?
Wow, you just put me out there like that. We were still talking about the.
My bad.
Mhm.
Our time is ticking away.
I'm following I'm following the teacher, man. That's
My
the,
bad.
I'm the queen.
Yeah,
My bad,
Queen
Queen.
Woo.
I want this to really
Give it to
go.
him.
Yeah,
Queen.
we're at
Woo-woo.
102.
Queen.
Wait,
Give it to
as
him.
of
Queen Woo Woo.
as of September 3rd,
Lady
we were at
Woo-woo.
102. That I just read, we've had 5 this weekend. So
So it is
that's at
100.
least
This weekend.
107.
See, I
That's
know some-
crazy.
I be paying attention. I know some things.
No, I hadn't heard 5 this weekend. I don't know that I've heard about 5 this weekend. I heard about 8 over the last week. So 8 plus 5.
13.
Okay,
That's
13.
a 115.
Crazy.
So what is
And it's September 11th.
Hey man, y'all stop blaming the mayor for this.
Oh,
Real
for
talk.
Yeah, it's
sure,
not
for
his
sure,
fault.
Oh,
for
let
sure.
me get serious real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Just for a second. The mayor is not responsible for your kids killing kids. It's not on him, right? So all these people, internet warriors that I hear about talking about, oh, it's the mayor's fault, blah, blah, blah. He need to do better. Like, I don't know. The mayor is not involved in y'all's household squabbles. He's not involved in
Right.
y'all's neighborhood beef. He's not involved in this gang stuff. So, like, that's not on him. The only thing I do think the mayor is responsible for is bringing jobs in. So you have more jobs, and then maybe you decrease the poverty level, and
Yeah.
then maybe people are not out there feeling that way. But like these homicides, that's not on him, man.
I
Don't
used
do
to
that.
say,
Don't
like
do that.
kids don't have anything to do. I used to say that. It ain't nothing for the kids to do. But then when I saw the kids, every time we build something nice, and it's not just kids, it's some
Yeah.
adults too,
Oh,
some
yeah.
older people, but City Walk, crazy. Burning out in the middle of the street in something new. Then the AMC movie fight.
That
What?
was, yeah.
What was that?
Brawling at the
In
movie
Vestavia
theaters,
last
man.
week.
Like,
At Vestavia?
I'm talking about
White
straight.
kids?
No.
Oh,
No.
what's
You
Vestavia?
ever seen that?
The Rebels.
No, melee, bro. Straight
But then
melee.
look, after every football game, basically, like you almost anticipate that after every high school football game, it's gonna be a fight. I know my generation, we used to think that too. Like it's probably gonna be a fight after the game. But I got on the bus with the band. But I also know that like any festival that we had, City Stages, Heritage Festival, it was a fight.
Midnight Madness at the fair.
It was a fight. State
Showboat
fair,
parties.
it's a fight.
Oh, City Stages.
It's gonna somebody can slap. Like you can
Heritage
slap.
Festival.
Fire.
So like the culture, the
Lit,
idea
though.
that
But they would just be fighting. He want all this shooting
but
going
why?
on.
It's still the question of
Yeah.
why. It's the like why
Catch
is
a
that the
fair one.
culture?
Some people take on site seriously. When I see you
Well, that's the thing. Hold on.
on site,
So we talked about this at my day job earlier last week before I had to leave, like whatever. It's like a lot of these cats. So some of this gang stuff is, it's some redistricting. So there's some kids who are now going to school with kids that they otherwise would not be going to school with those kids. That's number one.
facts. We'll talk off air. Woo.
Yeah. Number two, it's a lot of this stuff like because of the pandemic and so forth and so on. Like these cats ain't seen each other. So like now you've been out here talking reckless, your mouth real reckless, real fly, and now you got to see me. And so like now I see you, and like we got to do something weird. You don't have to. I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
I get that. I do.
It's crazy out here, man.
I do. I also understand though, like the idea that like I have to know why I'm beefing with you. Why am I what is the issue that we have? I
Right.
don't, and I say it all the time. I'm not fighting over the area where I live, and I don't even like my folk don't own it. It ain't Buckingham Palace where we just like I have the right. It's none of that.
You fighting over rental property,
I'm fighting over my project
Right.
or my grandma house. Like
but you squat
what?
though.
Right. So I'm definitely not fighting over that because it ain't mine
It
anyway.
ain't yours.
Okay, and to that point, to that point,
Squatters' rights.
ain't none. To that point, what are you fighting about? What are you shooting about? There was a shooting at a gay club last weekend, absolutely, and that was over an internal dispute. That was something that a couple of people had going on.
Oh, the Quest thing.
Yeah.
And luckily, the person did not succumb to their injuries.
No matter how discreet you try to be on this show, Chuck will drop the name.
We're not supposed to say that.
No, I'm just saying it'd be funny.
I
Because
don't
she'd
be
be
saying
like,
people's names.
be like, something happened at the club. Let's go meet the Quest.
Hey,
Somebody's car ran out of gas. Oh, you mean Michael's?
He don't say people's names.
He was driving.
My fault. I'm just being myself.
Whoa.
He
Rude.
was driving.
I mean, Mr. Johnson will tell you I'm the same at my job.
yeah, it is okay. It is.
I thought Vital was about realness and authenticity.
You know what it's about.
It most certainly is.
Authenticity.
You know what it is. Hey,
Oh, I
Mr.
remember
Webb
that
said
time.
poor conflict resolution, and it's only getting worse. So, like, I did hear about that. I've seen the news trying to give these different organizations props and saying who's doing the work and blah, 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 blah. Can any one organization, any one group of pastors, any one politician, any one radio station really take on the cause to save the streets of Birmingham, Alabama?
No, but you
Or
can
are we
start.
just waiting on Jesus to come back and just clear it all out?
No, you can let Jesus take the wheel, but you can start.
Okay.
Look at that. I went to church today, so
Oh, amen.
I did.
Great.
Ladarius preached today. Shout out to Ladarius Hilliard again.
Come on, woo, with the
He talked about hey,
You
Mr.
know,
Johnson, you would
we're
appreciate
that board.
this.
Shoot, we're that board.
no, he's all right.
Dave, you appreciate this. He talked about the powder, the doubter, and the shouter. He was talking about Thomas.
The
Oh.
powder.
I
Powder.
like that.
Pout. Like
Oh.
pouting.
I need
The powder, the doubter, and the shouter.
Oh, that
Will
ain't,
there be one?
that ain't what that is.
The doors of the
Yes,
church
it
are
is.
open.
No, it ain't.
Hey,
It's
but
whatever you
Oh,
say it is.
But the
That-
air-
but
the
you,
air- hold on.
you tripping, woo, but this is the church I miss.
Yeah,
the
me
air-
too.
This is the church I miss. I miss
Let me
that.
run it back.
the,
Let me
the
run it back.
airwaves of the radio are open. Callers.
This is what I miss.
I heard that today.
I need the old.
Every hour.
Yeah,
I,
that's what I heard this morning.
yes, sir.
Yes, like them chords where that
Oh,
organ.
Shout out to Mount Moriah.
Yep,
Over
yep.
track.
Speaking of church in Oregon, did y'all watch Honk Your
No.
Horn?
Yes, I did.
No,
Save
Honk
Your
for
Soul.
Jesus.
Honk for Jesus.
I
I
didn't
saw
even
that.
know what that was
Please
until
go home and
yesterday.
watch that if
It
you
is
haven't.
hilarious.
No.
like hilarious because
Please
it's not
watch
good.
it, woo.
No,
No,
hilarious
it's-
because it is good. And like if you grew up in church and stuff, you're
I
gonna
did.
find it absolutely hilarious.
Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Caller,
See, I told you the airwaves are open.
what's up? Shalom.
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Hey,
Welcome
How
to the
y'all
show.
doing?
We are good.
Man,
You're so festive. I'm so excited.
y'all got real in the last 30 minutes. I had to get to a stopping point. I'm sorry. My name is Kia. How y'all doing?
Hey,
Y'all doing all right?
Yeah.
What's cracking?
Sorrento.
Not much. Just look, trying to be blessed. But on my way home, I was riding down the street, and of course, you know, it was police surrounded. I
Mhm.
couldn't get through or whatever. There was a lot going on. And the first thing I thought, somebody done got shot. All right.
Right.
So, you know, it pains me as a young Black woman, you know, living in Birmingham, on the west side of Birmingham at that,
What's up?
and really seeing it's like, oh, y'all just out here, just don't care, you know, not really solving problems, just shooting at the problem, or really, like you were saying, being on Twitter or talking mess, you know, individually. And then when you see each other, it's like, oh, it's got to be something. So it's a lot. It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You know, people scared to go to the grocery store for real, or, you know, be iffy when they stop at the stop signs and stoplights. And like, I feel like a lot of us say, you know, it is poor conflict resolution. It's something that's been ingrained in the Black neighborhood, in the Black communities. And I'm sorry, I was gonna cuss.
You were in the cups?
You know.
Oh, don't do that.
You kept it real the last 30 minutes talking about
Right.
you. That's you.
But I totally get what you're saying, though, just about the idea that this is what we've come to. You come home in a certain area and you feel like anytime you see police lights, somebody's dead.
Right. Like I went and got gas early today, and I went over Avenue Z. and two
Get it right.
Birmingham police officers went flying past me with lights going.
We just saw it going down Anza Avenue like now.
Right,
While we're on
like
the air.
somebody got shot. I just automatically assume that.
Thank you
Yeah.
for listening. Thank you for calling in and sharing that. So yeah, like that is what it is. But are we becoming desensitized by it? Like I have an issue with something that I see where I think that our law enforcement agents may be desensitized. I said this to my god sister. I don't know like how to make this I don't know like to make this a mandate or what, but I'm saying that on the air. Hopefully an officer is listening and can take it to the chief. When the cameras are rolling on a crime scene, don't be talking and laughing at each other. Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah.
Like, you think about when it plays back and it's a report of a murder or a homicide or whatever, and the police are working the scene, you'll see them kind of standing around and the camera zooms right in and it's like they laughing and
I don't see that a lot.
I see it every time and it's strange. It's like
I really feel like we are as a whole this
yeah.
community desensitized to it until it's a baby or a child that gets hurt. And then it's like everybody is just ultimately disgusted and hurt.
You are so right.
Like on the news, I saw, I think her name was Brenda LaDunn. She was crying during the report of the 4-year-old little girl who got shot in Kingston. I think it was Kingston last week. She broke down in the middle of her broadcast crying.
Wow. And you hardly ever see that.
You hardly ever see that. And it was heartbreaking because they said she went through surgery. She was back talking and everything. And she asked, why did she get shot? How do you explain to a 4-year-old why she got shot?
That's just sitting in the back seat, sitting in the car.
Is your god sister in law enforcement?
I'm not desensitized to what's going on. But it's bad when you expect a shooting on the news every day. But I'm not desensitized to it. I still have a heart for, like with the little girl who got shot in the back. I'm like, come on, bro. Like even with some of the adults. But when you look at the news now, it's almost 98, 99%. A shooting is gonna come across. You're gonna see a police car, some yellow tape from not just nationwide, right here in little old Birmingham.
Right.
Not just every day. Every news. 6 o'clock is gonna be a shooting.
Yeah.
9 o'clock is gonna be a shooting. It's crazy.
5 a.m. 6
shooting.
a.m.
Yep.
I've been asking this question in a group that I do. Can you imagine killing someone? Can you imagine shooting someone with a gun and watching them die? Can you imagine that?
I can't. I don't want to imagine that.
Right?
I don't want to. Is there a set of circumstances which I can see that happening? Sure.
There are definitely some
Rape my
sets of
mom and see what
circumstances.
happened.
Right.
That's my point, Dave. Like
I get it. No.
Like, you can see yourself doing it, but it's the idea that it's almost kind of like
their reasons for doing it aren't that extreme.
At
like
all.
You said, they're fighting over
colors and
government property.
They're fighting over colors, neighborhoods, women, men, and money.
Me and both of my sons together gonna put them hands on you. You run up on us, but Betty Johnson, Tiffany, and Amaya. Oh yeah, man, you got to meet your maker, Jack.
Those are solid. Those are solid
meet your maker on that.
circumstances, but it's not like you don't sing songs about your blicky on a daily basis.
Right.
You don't. That's just not
got
the culture.
that work.
Right. That's not the culture that we reside in mentally, emotionally, holistically. We don't live in a space to think about how we're gonna terrorize somebody. Right. Like I'm gonna get in the car, drive around, and just shoot these people.
When we off the air
randomly.
today, me and you gonna talk
for $30. Come on.
Because I do.
Oh, New Orleans one?
I teach a class.
Yeah.
During the week, and we gonna
at our day job.
Yeah, at our day, we gonna talk. I do it with adults and I do it with young men too. With men, grown men. And I do it with young and
he does a fantastic job at it, by the way.
Hey man,
I try to tell people when they're doing a good job.
But the mindset of some of our younger brothers, man, it's just we'll talk because that bothers me.
And I get it. It's like a lot of the same people because the people that are at my other day job come from your day job.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So did y'all talk about day job this much before I got up here?
No,
we started calling it this.
We call it the day job.
And here's the sad part about not the older men, the older guys, but the younger ones that I teach. When you ask them, I've heard this from 3 different young men. Mm-hmm. What do you want to be when you graduate? And we used to say this years ago as a joke, but now they're saying it for real. What do you want to be when you graduate? They say, you mean if I graduate, I want to be alive.
And I understand that.
Sasha Thumper.
Right. What do you
Because
want to
whether
be?
you're involved
What you wanna
in
be
some
upset,
drama or
alive.
some beef, you take a chance when you walk out your door in Birmingham.
And that's what
Right.
one little guy said. He
Mine's
said,
also-
it's not even guaranteed I'll be in your class tomorrow.
And so the idea that I can accept that, and I know that that's probably
And they're not afraid.
right. So if I'm not afraid of my own life being taken or snatched, I'm definitely not afraid to take somebody
But
else's.
why aren't they afraid?
Because many of them think that I'm living in a world where it's kill or be killed.
Because of the lifestyle that I choose or the lifestyle that I'm exposed to. Because some people say, well, it's poverty.
And many
It
of
ain't
them
a
is
lot
the
of them guys
lifestyle I'm
choosing them.
exposed to because
Yeah.
some of them are not involved in it, but somebody in their
Right.
family or
Or their
circle.
circle.
That's
And,
what
and it's not always somebody that's close to their age. It's a 50-year-old uncle.
Yeah.
That's
in the game.
and
Yeah.
it's sad, man. It hurt my heart.
There's not a
think
lot of
about
these
that.
cats that's choosing that stuff. A lot of these cats just grown.
I got a heart for these young men because a lot of them don't know. They don't know, man. They need.
So they don't feel like they have any hope or
because you're going back to the
choice go
same.
right.
You
going
going
back
back in
to
the same environment.
slum.
Like if you can't break your environment, whatever's going on in that environment, you in it.
And
It
that's,
is what
that's
it is.
always that is it right there. Like if I leave my home where these things happen, and then that's where I go back once I get a second chance or an opportunity, whoever was looking for me is still on site, right?
Right.
And it's the same thing like with addiction, same thing we talked about. I'm going back to a familiar place, familiar people. I'm going back to what I'm comfortable with.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I am.
Okay.
It's like I get frustrated with some people at my job, at other jobs, similar situated, where like it's like y'all don't even understand. Like y'all out here throwing a book at these folks and like expecting all this change. Like you understand when they leave this building, they going right back in the same
Right,
environment. So
right.
like, what you want them to do? They, sometimes they ain't got a lot of choice because it ain't nothing but an encore.
One of the
See what I
hardest
did there?
statements I've ever heard.
Encore.
One of the hardest statements I've ever heard from a young person. And when I say young, I mean under 16.
Mhm.
Is the reason why I'm taking this class is so I can save my brother, who's older than me.
Yeah.
So if I take this class and I get the knowledge from this class, maybe I can go and save my brother. And then 2 weeks later, he don't come to class because the brother just got killed.
Yeah.
So
It's hard-
what
it's
do you
real out here in the
what do you
streets, yo.
tell him?
Super real.
I'm gonna try to move y'all to another place that got a barbed wire. I mean, like, what?
Wait, you gonna try to do what?
Move you somewhere else, change your name, give you a different identity, give you this money to start your life over with,
nobody
give you
doing
this job to do right.
nobody
And so
doing
since nobody's doing that, we're gonna continue to see the same things that we're seeing.
I
That's
love
what
these little dudes
that's-
out here, man. Real
Yeah, I
talk.
mean,
And
it-
I got
what's
a heart
crazy about
for
it
'em.
is a lot of these cats, in order to get out their environment, they got to get deeper in the game, which is a whole problem.
to help them get out
Jesus.
right.
Right. It's a whole problem. So like now you out here risking your freedom. All you trying to do is get your people in a better situation, but you deeper and deeper in this game, which also has its consequences. So
Let me
it's
tell
just
y'all
crazy.
something. There's another piece of this conversation that is often neglected, and this is the part that bothers me. Cycles have to be broken, and everybody wants to break a generational curse. That's nice, but the mental cycle
that's
that you,
cute. It sounds
it
cute,
really
whatever.
is, right? It's so nice and so cliche to say, but the work that goes into really building yourself up, what that looks like. So, say for instance, I've struggled in school all along, and everybody's talking about, well, you got to get your GED. GED.
Yeah.
I dropped out because I don't understand that. And I can't understand that stuff. So say for instance, I do get my GED. Then now I got to go to college. College, I ain't made for school. I have an undiagnosed mental health disorder that won't allow me to focus and function the way I need to. So I'm still trapped. I get a job. I don't have the skills to be able to listen and take instruction. I got a temper. I'm angry because of my situation. So I lose my job. I don't have a driver's license because I couldn't pay the fines and fees. So I'm just still messed up in that situation. But y'all expect me to pay the fees, go to school, keep the job, be nice to people. When last night my water was off and my baby mama dropped all the kids off. And then my grandma on dialysis.
That's a lie.
Damn.
And that's truth.
It is.
And then baby mama is barking down your throat about everything.
But then let's look at
No,
her.
baby,
and baby daddy.
baby mamas,
And baby daddy.
Right, but
because
let's
it
look-
ain't just one.
Let's
it's
look at all of the
several.
layers of that. They have issues as well. So now we have another generation watching them go through these same things. And guess what happens to those children?
Same
They
thing.
repeat the cycle.
And then mama, baby mama, or mama, not baby mama, but mama and some daddies know you out here in the streets doing this dirt, but they send you out to do the dirt because
Oh,
they
yeah.
won't get up and go do the work.
The
pay the
demon.
bill.
Oh, they trying to get out too now. Hold on. It's not just that all the time. Like,
Yeah, a lot of times it's just
No, I'm
that
just
we
saying
don't
in
have the
context of
up.
what we were talking about with this
Yeah.
layering.
Yeah, like it's a layered situation, and there are a lot of things that are missed that we can't excuse, but we also can't remedy because we don't have the resources. If I had the resources to help everybody figure it out or everybody live better, I'm sure we all would, but we don't have those tools.
Most stuff said, why do I need ID to get ID?
Yeah.
If I had ID, I wouldn't need ID.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
I am who I am. Is that not enough?
It is what it is.
I
Oh,
need
boy.
ID to get ID.
So
If
this
I had
week,
ID, I wouldn't need ID.
you all think we can make it through this week with a half less of the homicides that we saw this past week?
Hopefully.
We saw 8.
Hopefully.
Okay, so we come back next Sunday.
We starting out
let's
with
look at-
5.
let's
If
look-
if we count today is the first day of the week, what I just read, it's been 5
Since when now?
since noon.
Today?
Yeah, it was a
What we
homicide.
missed?
It was a homicide in Homewood.
No,
Somebody
not 5 today. She's
like
5 for the week.
five already starting.
If we
It was
start
a homicide.
on today.
It was a homicide already this morning at
Okay.
the Homewood ATM.
Okay.
They say he was targeted though. Then I just saw 2 more homicides that occurred in the Inslee area within the last 2 hours.
That's 3.
So that's 3 today.
And that means that we said that it was 8 last week, right?
Mhm.
Hey,
Mhm.
former Representative Todd volunteered her white woman
I
service.
see. Come on, Pat.
She said she want a white
Oh.
woman on the show. Pull up.
Okay.
I'm not
I
gonna be
did-
here next
I
week,
did
by the
say
way.
that.
Y'all have fun. I'll be in Dallas.
Okay.
I'm just letting y'all know. I'm telling you.
Hey,
man.
before we get out of here, here's my topic. No more Fright Fest at Sloss Furnace. What's happening, man?
Yeah.
Do people really care?
I think a lot of folks get that. It's a lot of people out here that are into that kind of stuff, man.
I don't know that.
And it's
many-
been at Sloss Furnace, but they saying
It
it's,
doesn't align with
it don't
where they're
align
going.
with what everything got going on.
I get
What
it.
does
I
that
get
mean?
it.
What does that mean?
Right.
Align
Like
with what?
with so much
The-
violence and stuff.
And then they
going
say while
on,
they're trying to give tours, you got to walk past the casket, like when schools are coming in, like, hey man, this is where the people used to make a part in that skull over there. We got Fright
They don't
Fest.
have storage for it.
Mm.
I get that. I'm gonna switch it up because what I don't want is for somebody to get shot at my event.
Fair.
At my
Fair.
whatever I'm
That's
offering.
fair.
no matter
right?
how long
That's
we've
sad,
been
but that's
having
fair.
it, but now times are different and we can't.
Yeah, I remember Vital. So Vital is approaching 14 years when we did Vital 10.
You gonna do it another 15 years? That's for the culture.
It
Like,
is.
What's up? I
we-
seen that.
we'll talk about that. But they shot. They were shooting at the party. They were shooting at the
They sure
celebration of
were.
Vital 10, and like we had this great time celebrating Vital.
Wait, what?
Yes,
Yeah,
When
it
was
was
this?
some- it
I
was
mean,
some
obviously 5 years ago.
teens.
When was this? Or where was it?
at Workplay,
And
there
then
was
like
a
next
team
door
party
to
on the
it,
other side
yeah.
in one of the other
That-
rooms.
man.
So
And there were elderly-
17?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I might know about this.
It was all on the news and everything. Like
I
we were
think I might-
celebrating the anniversary of the show, and
Oh, I was pulling up.
when it happened,
Yes, and then yes, I knew this sounded familiar.
you
And
were
then
there.
you had to shut it down, right?
It was at the end of ours. They, they shut
and
the
then-
team party
yes,
down.
Yes, I
Our
do
event
remember
was
this.
ended, and as we were going to cars, we got grandmas and everybody
Yes,
on the ground.
Yes, I do remember. I was pulling up right there. I remember that.
Bro, just
See what I mean? Like,
That was crazy.
so I thought about doing.
They were
I
like
had
they
to-
shooting the high
like,
school. That's
literally
right. Yep,
shooting.
Yep.
with the teenager. I said, you know what? I am the cool mom. I want to do some teen parties. Like I want to kind of
I
get back
guess.
into that. But
Yes.
we used to have them back in the day. This spot called the Teen Scene.
I feel like Deontay told me. Somebody told me to pull up. Yeah, right when I was pulling up. Yep.
But what you want to do at teen parties ain't what these kids want to do at teen parties. So they gonna be looking at your party like it's lame.
but I got a teen, so I've been talking to a lit teen, asking the questions. But what you're not gonna do is not sign this waiver before you come in here. That's another conversation, though. I hope you all have enjoyed the show tonight. We've talked about so many things. You've
I
got
found
comedy.
the other one. It
culture.
was a shooting in Bessemer today.
Oh, I was
So
in
that's
Bessemer
still in the
today.
area.
Damn. All right, y'all.
There's
Hold
3.
it down this week. We're already at 3. We said it was 8 last week.
Happy Sunday.
It's 3 today.
All right, we keeping count.
So we're looking for next Sunday. We looking under 3. We need
under 4.
under 4. So next Sunday we need to come back and have reports. Saying
How about 0?
I take
You
that.
can't do
I
0
mean,
because
let's do
today's
that. We already
Thursday.
at 3.
We're already at 3 today.
Oh.
So Sunday's the first day of the week.
Well, let's just say that Monday starts the week.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. See
I'ma
y'all next
call
week.
in. All right.
Peace.